loud crowd.
Yeah. Two of them in here. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners meeting of November 7th, 2023. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Barnett,
Here.
Commissioner Baxter,
Here.
Commissioner Bernard,
Here.
Commissioner Marino,
Here.
Vice Mayor Sachs, Mayor Weiss,
Here.
Commissioner Woodward.
Here.
Thank you.
So this morning, last week we had a very tragic incident in our Palm Beach County family. So I'd ask if you can please, if you're able to, please rise. I have a couple of comments and then we'll have a moment of silence. Clinton Forbes, the Executive Director of Palm Beach County's Palm Tran, will be remembered for his visionary leadership and dedication to transforming public transportation in the community. His sudden passing last Thursday leaves a void in the hearts of those who worked alongside him and benefited from his service. He was a trailblazer whose passion and commitment to excellence made a lasting impact, improving the lives of Palm Beach County residents. His legacy will continue to inspire and guide the future of Palm Tran and public transport innovation. I ask, if you're so inclined, to please, we'll take a moment of silence, remembering Clinton Forbes, praying for his soul, his family, and those deeply affected by his passing. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. All righty. Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions to this morning's agenda?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, on page 9, 3B2, we have a revised motion. Page 52, 4A, we have a revised motion. Page 52, 4B has been deleted, will be presented later. On page 59, 5E1 has a revised motion. And that concludes the additions, deletions, and substitutions.
Thank you very much. With that, would somebody like to make a motion to approve the amended agenda? We have a motion by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Baxter. All in favor, all opposed. That motion carries 7-0. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Would any board member like to pull an item from the consent agenda?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to pull item 3GG2. I'd like a presentation from the auditor.
Okay, we're going to pull item 3GG2. With that, would somebody like to make, or are there any other requests to pull any items?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to pull on page 39 under Public Safety, 3X-1.
Anybody else? Commissioner Baxter?
Mine's for the regular agenda. Forgive me, Mayor.
Okay, no problem. All right. I'm not seeing anything else. All right, so then we'll take a motion on the consent agenda, less items 3GG2 and 3X1.
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
We have a motion by Commissioner Marino
Second.
and a second by the Vice Mayor. All in favor, all opposed. That motion carries 7-0. Okay, now we'll take up with item 3GG2. All right, should we reorder this to put it on the regular agenda? Okay, would somebody like?
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we reorder the agenda and put the two items that we pulled after presentations. Okay, I will remove my request.
Okay. Well, we could still do it if you want. You want to go ahead and make it?
You know, if you don't all mind, I think this might take a little time. If you don't mind, Mayor, can we reorder the agenda to do the proclamations and then do business?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So
you'll
the
be-
motion,
you'll
let
be
me,
back.
yeah, so the motion is by Commissioner Marino on items 3GG2 and 3X1 that were removed from the consent agenda to reorder them to in front of regular agenda items. So it'll come right before item 5. Okay, good. All right, so we have a motion and we have a second by Commissioner Baxter. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, all opposed, that motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to special presentations. All right, we have a lot of folks here, so this should be fun. Who's up first?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, and Okehili Middle School. Good morning. Thank you for coming. And thank you for reordering the agenda. I think it's important we get these kids back to school as fast as possible. Because they were kind enough to bless us with their amazing performance this morning. Hope you all got a chance to see them in action. Today we are honored to have the Latuna group from Okehili Middle School with us. I hope you had the opportunity to see them while you were here in the chambers. Thank you for all your wonderful performance. Your enthusiasm is contagious. As we know, behind great students are incredible educators teaching and mentoring them, and I would like to welcome Principal of Okehili Middle School, Elizabeth Morales, and the Latuna's guitar extraordinaire and teacher, Mr. Gustavo Uribe. Come on, please. The foundation behind the musical group is that of the traditional Spanish estudiantina, commonly known as Tuna, a group of university students who play traditional instruments and perform songs authentic to the region. These musical groups are deeply rooted in Spain's history, being considered the longest-standing active institution dating back to the 11th century. Thank you all for being here today. I am very proud to recognize the Okehili Middle School Latunas. Is Gustavo here? Yes. Please come on up. And all the students as well, if that's okay. Granados Isabella, Ledesma Gabriela, Mendoza John, Montoya Glady, Morales Daniel, Munguia Lydia, Munoz Mariana, Navarrete Roberto, Olvera Maricruz, Portales Isabella, Portales Anabella, Ramos Attila, Richardson Angelina, Rodriguez Camila, Torres Dari, Vargas Isabella, Villegas Christopher, and I don't know why the last names were put first, but is everybody up here? All right. On behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, I'd like to present this certificate of recognition to Latuna of Okehili Middle School. Latuna of Okehili Middle School, formed in 2008. They are the only musical group of its kind in the United States, as it is a modern take on the Spanish Estudiantina group with the middle school students, not university students. The students' dedication is reflected in their joy and relentless efforts to grow both their Spanish language and musical interpretation skills. Presented on the 7th day of November, 2023, Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much for supporting Okehili Middle School and all of the schools in Palm Beach County. We're a dual language community school with ties to the International Spanish Academy directly through Spain. And Latuna, what that does is it allows us to showcase the joy and the traditions related to learning a second language, and specifically with the Spanish languages. And so if you heard our music, you saw that we had music from several Spanish-speaking countries. And so thank you for allowing us to be here today, and thank you for embracing us as we embrace you.
That's a big picture.
You want us to come down? You want us,
How about come up here?
you want to come up?
Can we come up for a picture with the commissioners?
Sure, thank you.
Please, thank you.
See everybody's beautiful faces?
Oh, no film. Sorry, you guys got to go back to school. We got to go.
They wish they would.
Very, very good.
Thank you very much.
You choose.
Yeah, believe it or not. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks very much.
There's a piece of it. Okay,
All right.
back to business here. Who's after Mike? I wonder if we should.
Yeah, you're up next.
Aye.
We pulled it for another day.
Yeah, so it goes District 7, then
Sure, go
District
ahead.
5 is after District 7.
So it's on you.
One more. Good morning again, everyone. Back to School Palm Beach County is presented by the Board of County Commissioners and the Office of Community Revitalization in partnership with the Spirit of Giving Network, the Children's Services Council, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, and other community partners. Back to School Palm Beach County provides free school supplies, books, shoes, socks, haircuts, health screenings, and other community resources to thousands of students from low-income, homeless, and foster families in Palm Beach County to help prepare them for the new school year. First, let me thank the Office of Community Revitalization for the incredible job they did on the event and the job they do each day and every day in our community. Thank you. The Back to School event could not be possible without the participation of generous community leaders in our community, and today we honor two of those leaders. Kristen Smithhurst, Program Director, Physician Assistant Program, And Rosemary Paulino, Campus Director, the Hollywood Institute of Beauty Careers. Would y'all come up, please? And if you have anybody with you you'd like to have stand, please, they can come up as well. Okay. Okay, Rosemary Paulina. Okay. We'll do Rosemary first. Certificate of Recognition presented to Rosemary Paulino, Hollywood Institute of Beauty Careers Campus Director, in acknowledgement of her dedication and the committed educators and students at the Hollywood Institute of Beauty Careers for their remarkable contributions and substantial support of the Office of Community Revitalization's Back to School program. Their unwavering commitment to offer numerous services to students in need demonstrates the Institute's core values and steadfast commitment to community service on the 7th day of November 2023, Board of County Commissioners, Palm Beach County. Congratulations.
Good morning. We are deeply honored to receive this certificate of appreciation from Commissioner Michael Burnett. And on behalf of my entire team, I want to express our heartfelt thanks to not only Commissioner Burnett, for this incredible recognition, but also to Mayor Grace Wise, the rest of the Board of Community Commissioners, Mr. Houston Tate, OCR Director and his team, and especially to our dear friend, Ruth. Where are you, Ruth? Hey! Who has been our friend for many years and was responsible for having us participate in this amazing event since 2019. We see this certificate as a testament to the collective effort and dedication of countless individuals from the Hollywood Institute of Beauty Careers who have been participating in the Back to School event every year. And I accept it on behalf of all those who have been part of this amazing journey. As the campus director, I am humbled and honored to be the recipient of this certificate. My students, I'm back there, staff and faculty love giving back to the community and look forward to this event every year. We are filled with joy knowing that our work helped prepare the kids for their return to school. It is a very rewarding experience. In closing, I want to once again express my deepest gratitude to Commissioner Michael Burnett for this recognition, along to Mayor Wise and the Palm Beach County Board of Community Commissioners. It is an incredible honor, and we are truly thankful. Let us continue to work together, hand in hand, towards a brighter and more prosperous future for our community and our most vulnerable kids. Thank you.
Can you do a quick picture? Make sure to hold up the certificate.
Guys, yep, sorry. Let me open it. Here we go.
We're a different school, we're not.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And now I'd like to welcome Kristen Smithhurst to the podium. Okay. I'll take your time. Program Director of South University, Kristen Smithhurst. Certificate of Recognition presented on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners in recognition of her contributions and the dedicated faculty and compassionate students of South University for their impactful support of the Office of Community Revitalization's Back to School program, their commitment to providing to providing school physicals and vision screenings to students in need profoundly reflects South University's core values and unwavering spirit of community service, significantly contributing to a brighter future. On this 7th day of November 2023, Board of Palm Beach County Commissioners, congratulations. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Barnett, Mayor Weiss, and the rest of the commission. We're so grateful for this opportunity to be here with you this morning. Service is at the heart of what we do as healthcare providers and nurses, and we are thrilled to be able to continue to participate in this very important event and to touch the lives of so many students in Palm Beach County. I would love to thank Ruth and Crystal and the entire team that helped to coordinate this event, and we look forward to working with you again on the event starting next month. It's a continuous planning process. I would love to thank the members of our faculty and team, specifically Dean Ilaria Gadala. She's the Dean of the College of Health Professions. Julia Knipe is the Program Director for our Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. Her wonderful faculty, my team who's here with us, our campus director, Diana Plank, and we're grateful for all of the support of the institution to allow us to participate in this event. So thank you very much, and we appreciate the honor.
I know, I saw that. I saw that, yeah. He's a good guy. He was with my husband as a partner.
Oh, is that right?
That was Sachs Klein, and he had to give that up. We had breakfast once, he and I. He was in the state senate, and I was in the House, and he said, you know, I'd have to give up my livelihood to go to Congress. You're long. She can't be.
Thank you.
His son and my daughter used to hang out together. Brian, good guy.
The Omega is the last in the ancient Greek alphabet. Omega leaders put others and their shared cause ahead of themselves. Would the Omega leaders who are here today please rise and please come forward? This proclamation recognizing Lambda Alpha Alpha chapter and Sigma Delta Delta chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Inc. for outstanding work on the Curb Appeal Project. Whereas the Lambda Alpha Alpha, also known as LAA, chapter of Omega Phi Psi Phi Fraternity Inc., has been operating in Palm Beach County, Florida since March 18, 1980, and has distinguished itself as a public service organization for the community. Whereas the Sigma Delta Delta, also known as SDD, undergraduate chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Inc., has been operating in Palm Beach County, Florida since December 7, 1995, and has distinguished itself as a public service organization on the campus of Florida Atlantic University and in the community. And whereas the members of LAA and SDD have dedicated countless volunteer hours and service to the community, including implementing health initiatives and mentoring programs, street cleanup events, talent hunting, Thanksgiving basket giveaways, track and field events for students, and providing scholarships to high school seniors. And whereas the members of LAA and SDD are committed to providing services to caregivers and seniors in Boynton Beach, Florida, through its Curb Appeal Project. And whereas the members of LAA and SDD painted and landscaped 12 homes of caregivers and seniors from February 11, 2023 to September 23, 2023. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, recognizes the exemplary work and service that LAA and SCD have made to caregivers and seniors of Boynton Beach, Florida. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 7th day of November, 2023, that the Board hereby recognizes Lambda Alpha Alpha Chapter and Sigma Delta Delta Chapter of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Inc. for outstanding work on the curb appeal projects. Congratulations.
Good morning, Mayor Gregory Wise, Commissioner Mack, County Commissioners, County Administrator Virginia Baker, and distinguished guests. My name is Cameron Simmons, and I am the immediate past president of Lambda Alpha Alpha Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I am joined here today with the newly elected president, Mr. Anthony Robinson, and the co-chairman of the Curb Appeal, Mr. Keon McDavis Sr., a representative of the undergraduate chapter of Sigma Delta Delta at Florida Atlantic University, Mr. Ricky Petty, and Mr. Dwayne Randolph. Both chapters have been a part of Palm Beach County for many years and have committed to our time ensuring that we live by our 4 cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift by providing services to many residents in the South Palm Beach County area. The Curb Appeal Project was organized to paint and provide landscaping to the homes of caregivers who manage the daily affairs of their beloved seniors in the Boynton Beach area. Many of the caregivers we serve have little time to tend to the exterior of their homes due to the challenge of caring for their beloved seniors. When the world calls, Omega Men answer. We launched the Curb Appeal Project in 2020. We painted and landscaped 10 homes from 2020 to 2022. In 2023, we painted and landscaped 12 homes for caregivers and seniors. To date, we have painted and landscaped 22 homes under the Curb Appeal Project. Through the Curb Appeal Project, we have been able to ease the financial burden of many caregivers and seniors, as well as alleviate code violations. It is quite a rewarding feeling to see the smiles of our caregivers and seniors' faces once we complete the painting and landscaping of their homes. On behalf of the Lambda Alpha Alpha Chapter and Sigma Delta Delta Chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, we extend a heartfelt thank you to the Palm Beach County Board of Commissioners for the public recognition. Thank you.
Just want to make sure we recognize Chief Adderley, who is the Chief of Police for the City of West Palm Beach, who's here. And Commissioner Woodrow Hay, who is a city commissioner in the city of Boynton Beach, who's also here. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. While they are taking a picture, that proud group, we're going to move on to our next proclamation. And if I could have Sheila Jaffe, Vice President, Legislation, and now Liaison, and Natalie Andre, Co-President, what's your husband's name? And Bob Jaffe, who's board member and grand supporter of Sheila. All right, today we are declaring November 2023 as Family Court Awareness Month. Whereas Families Against Court Travesties, Inc., located in Palm Beach County, has been observing family independency court proceedings for more than 20 years, advocating for children negatively affected by court decisions. And whereas their mission includes increasing awareness of the importance of a family court system that prioritizes child safety and acts in the best interest of our children. Whereas this mission is fueled by the desire to create awareness and change in the family court system for the estimated 58,000 children a year ordered into unsupervised contact with physically or sexually abusive parents while honoring the hundreds of children who have been reported as murdered during visitation with a dangerous parent. And whereas this mission is to increase awareness of the importance of education and training on domestic violence, childhood trauma, child sexual abuse, and post-separation abuse for all professionals working within the family court system. And whereas this mission is to increase awareness of the importance of using evidence-based treatment programs that are proven to be safe and effective. Whereas this mission is to educate judges and other family court professionals on evidence-based research that is critical to making these decisions that are in the best interest of our children. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session the 7th day of November 2023, that November 2023 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Family Court Awareness Month. Congratulations, all of you, and for what you do. Would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you, Maria. The Palm Beach County chapter of NOW, the National Organization for Women, created FACTS Court Watch, Families Against Court Travesties, in 2002, to review the behavior of judges and attorneys. This was in response to the tremendous upsurge in cries for help from parents asking for support concerning family law custody issues. FACTS worked with other nonprofit organizations as advocates for abused children to protect them from the harm of domestic violence, including physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. Long-term judicial abuse also may be responsible for the surge in mental health issues in children and young adults. Florida is very negligent in providing care for these victims of abuse. Parents, mostly mothers, trying to protect their children are out-lawyered by the obscene costs of legal representation and their support industry. They have no choice but to legally represent the welfare of themselves and their children pro se. That means being their own lawyer in the family and dependency courts. This crisis is especially true for battered mothers trying to protect their children from abusive fathers who aggressively litigate against them using the family courts to stalk, harass, punish, and impoverish their former partner and children, just as this happened to Allie and Grayson Kessler. Family Court Awareness Month throughout the nation memorializes the murder of children like 4-year-old Grayson Martin Kessler from Plantation, Florida. A domestic violence injunction and emergency pickup order for Grayson were both denied by the Broward Family Court judge the day before Grayson was murdered by his father, who then killed himself. To protect other threatened children, the Florida legislature passed Grayson's Law this past year. The bills were sponsored by Senator Lori Berman and Representative Hillary Cassell. This law aims to change the way domestic violence and abuse issues are addressed in the family courts and to help pass additional laws that always puts child safety first. FACTS invites the community to join us and volunteer to cure the crisis for parents and children in the family courts. I have information here for you today who is ever interested. December 6th would have been Grayson Kessler's 7th birthday. And in memory of him, we do our court watches mostly on Zoom, so it is convenient. So I have these brochures available and also information about Grayson's Law. And I want to thank Natalie Andre, who's been working with me for over 30 years on family court and women's issues, and my husband, Bob Jaffe, who's been here for 50 years, and he's been a really important supporter of our issues. So anybody's interested, I will hand you a brochure.
If I can have Jessica Cesari join me. You can stay right there. That's good. It is my honor to present a certificate of recognition on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County to Jessica Cesari. Jessica has been involved in nonprofit leadership for more than 30 years and is also a small business owner, consultant, and active community volunteer. She is an expert in nonprofit management and personal finance, a former certified consumer credit counselor and certified counselor for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Neighborhood Works America. Jessica joined Nonprofits First as interim CEO in August of 2013 and accepted the full-time position in February of 2014. Under her leadership, Nonprofits First has accredited over 780 agencies over the last 10 years and administered over $4 million in GROW grants funded by the Children's Services Council of Palm Beach County. They've graduated 450 nonprofit professionals through its Rising Leaders program and 38 through Advancing Leaders. They've also recognized 990 nominees from local nonprofit sector at the annual Hats Off Nonprofit Awards over the last 7 years. In addition to her professional career, she is also a graduate and active alumni of Leadership Florida and Leadership Palm Beach County. She has served on more than 12 board of directors over the last 30 years and currently volunteers her time on the boards of the Better Business Bureau of Southeast Florida and Puerto Rico, Leadership Palm Beach County, and Financial Executives Alliance for First Republic Bank. She has received several honors throughout her career, including Women in Leadership Award in the nonprofit sector by the Executive Women of the Palm Beaches Foundation and Leadership Palm Beach County President's Award. Jessica has contributed greatly to the nonprofit community in the last decade by serving as a mentor, advocating for support, and strengthening the health of the sector. Jessica is I didn't know this.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Jessica is retiring at the end of the year. Oh my goodness. And we would like to recognize her for many years of outstanding service. So we are presenting on this 7th day of November 2023 from the Palm Beach County Board of County Commissioners a recognition to Jessica Cesari. Thank you for all you've done.
I think I just shocked Mayor Weiss. That doesn't happen very often. No, it really doesn't. So I will be very brief. I am very, very grateful for this recognition. I didn't even realize I did all that stuff, right? No wonder I'm retiring. But it's been such an honor, particularly my last 10 years at Nonprofits First, to serve the entire nonprofit sector. It is a extreme joy to work with all these amazing nonprofits, some of which you've heard about this morning. So I appreciate it. I thank you. I'll be around, but I am retiring in December. So thank you so much to the Board of County Commissioners, to my dear friend, Mayor Greg Weiss, and to my Board of Directors. And thank you especially to Jennifer Sullivan, who put all this together. She is our board chair. And my husband is here with me and has endured all this pain of me working in the nonprofit sector for so long, Bill Cecere. So thank you so much for being here and supporting me all these years.
All right, moving right along. This is the best part of our meetings, to tell you the truth. I'd like to call up Ryan Onda and his buddy, Titan, and Amanda Onda, who's the treasurer and secretary of Semper Fi. Come on up. I wish I had a treat for Titan. It probably. A beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Okay, we're going to declare November 7th, 2023, as Veterans Service Dog Day. Why, he's standing at attention, this dog. I don't know. There you go. Whereas mental and behavioral health is an essential part of health and overall wellness. Whereas post-traumatic stress disorder may develop after a person has been through, seen, or been threatened with a traumatic event. And whereas, as research has shown, specially trained PTS service dogs can reduce stress and anxiety. I already feel better already. Mitigate depression and ease social reintegration. And whereas PTSD in war veterans is a common condition that can develop immediately after a disturbing event. Whereas Palm Beach County is home to approximately 84,000 veterans, the third largest population of veterans in the state of Florida. And whereas there are many types of service dogs, including guide dogs for the blind, dogs for the deaf, but our service dogs to assist our veterans with PTSD, panic disorders, anxiety disorders, major depression, and autism spectrum disorders are especially honored for you today, Ryan, and for you also. Whereas service animals are covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act, afforded rights to enter public establishments, trained to assist a single person, and may live with owners regardless of pet policies, and fly with their disabled owner. Whereas Sempre Fi Service Dogs, the nonprofit organization that rescues shelter dogs, and let me tell you today that this organization has been within our animal care and control and has worked with many of our animals in animal care and control, helping to service those dogs, many of whom nobody wants because they're large dogs, and but they are the ones that do the best when it comes to acting as service dogs for our veterans. So not many people know that, and I really very, very much appreciate you and Amanda working on this so diligently. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session the 7th day of November, 2023, that November 7th, 2023 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Veterans Service Dog Day. Congratulations.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you to the commission as well. I really appreciate this honor. This proclamation is going to shine light on the problem of PTSD and veterans especially suffering from PTSD and usually being drowned with medications like I was myself. That's not the answer. The answer is, to me, is service dogs. I've trained over 100 service dogs for veterans, and I can proudly say not one of them has killed themselves, and most of them are off the majority of their medication. This is a very serious thing that we do here. Our mission is to rescue as many dogs as possible and pair them up and save as many veterans as possible and give them their lives back. It's not just about suicide, it's also about giving their lives back as well. A lot of these people leave half their life over back in the desert. They come here, they isolate, and 22 plus veterans kill themselves every day, and 55,000 dogs are euthanized every day. So to me, it's very close to my heart. I quit my full-time job to do this. We're grassroots, but we will not stop until every veteran and every dog is saved. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm a Marine on a mission, and until I'm dead, that's what my goal is. Thank you very much.
And while they're taking their picture, could I ask Maria Eliana Lopez and Sensei Alex Hanesta, and we have 6 students, I believe, with you, if I could ask you all to come down here. morning. So it is my honor. We have quite a special presentation this morning. I have first a certificate of congratulations presented to the Palm Beach Karate School for training 5 outstanding young athletes to qualify for the 2023 Junior Pan American Games, which is organized by the International Olympic Committee to be held in Santiago, Chile. By placing at the 2023 USA National Karate Championships and team trials held in Richmond, Virginia, Kevin Cruz, Brian Cruz, Gabriela Navarrete, Luca Serafimovic, Julio Velasquez, and Christopher Garrido earned the opportunity to participate in the Junior Pan American Games. At the 2023 Junior Pan American Championships, Julio Velasquez, where's Julio? There he is. Julio won a gold medal for the United States team. Julio is currently ranked number 2 in the world. The school's West Palm Beach location opened in 1996 and has raised about 45 black belts and focuses on creating a healthy environment for students to develop karate skills as well as their strength of character. So on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, I would like to present you with this certificate of congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Now, I have a second congratulations to present, and that's to Sensei Alex Hanesta, who is Palm Beach County School co-owner and head coach, for successfully training the Palm Beach Karate School students who earned first, second, or third place titles in the 2023 USA Karate Nationals and Team Trials held in Richmond, Virginia, and the 2023 Pan American Championships in Santiago, Chile. So here's for you, sir. And we are not done. For Julio, I have a certificate for achieving first place gold medal in a category of cadets, 14 to 15-year-olds, and a first place gold medal at the Pan American. Oh, you already did the Pan American Championship. You already won these. Oh, my goodness. All right. First place twice. Good for you. To Kevin. Kevin won a gold medal. Kevin, where are you? Gabriela. Gabriela has a silver medal. Brian Cruz, second place silver medal. Congratulations. Luca, silver medal, second place. Thank you, young man. And Christopher, third place bronze medal. Congratulations, making us all proud. Would you like to make any comments?
Thank you. In the name of our school, Palm Beach Karate, we are very pleased to receive this recognition. Thank you so much for Major Graves and the Board of Commission. This is a great opportunity to see the community, what we can do for our children of our good evening, and then they can be out of the drug, out of the street. Thank you so much.
Real quick, I just want to take the moment to thank you guys as well. Thank you, Mayor Weiss. Thank you, the Board of Commissioners. And thank you to the community for supporting these young athletes in achieving their dreams. This is something they've been working on since they were 5, 6, 7 years old. And it goes to show that anything is possible with commitment, dedication, and hard work. And of course, with a great community supporting them behind them. So thank you all. Thank you very much. It's a dream come true for me and the rest of the Palm Beach Karate School. Eternally grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So while they are taking pictures, may I please have Dr. James Green, Taruna Malhotra, Is Wendy Tippett here? Hey, hi, Wendy. And anyone else from Community Services as we do this proclamation? Excuse me? We're doing the homeless proclamation, yes. Actually, not National Hunger and Homeless. I thought I saw James. Dr. James Green, are you in the audience?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Grants.
He'll be here in time to say hello.
Who's phone?
He was just here. Small delay. However, I can read while Dr. Green is on his way. This is a proclamation declaring November 11th through 18, 2023 as National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. Whereas Florida ranks 3rd in the nation for the highest homeless population, and 1 in 7 of the state's population struggles with hunger, and whereas people from all walks of life, including families, those who are employed and unemployed, elderly residents, veterans, disabled people, youth, and individuals are impacted by hunger and homelessness. And whereas the Palm Beach County 2023 homeless point-in-time count identified 1,855 individuals and families experiencing homelessness, and the Palm Beach County Hunger Relief Plan indicates that more than 200,000 residents struggle with hunger. And whereas the purpose of National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week is to educate the public about the many reasons people are hungry and homeless, including the shortage of affordable housing in the county for very low-income residents, and to encourage support for homeless assistance service providers, as well as community service opportunities for students and school service organizations. And whereas Leading the Way Home is a robust 10-year plan developed more than a decade ago by the Palm Beach County Homeless Advisory Board in collaboration with agencies from the public and private sectors as the next phase of ending homelessness in Palm Beach County. And whereas the intent of National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week is consistent with the activities of the Homeless Advisory Board, Homeless Coalition, the Homeless and Housing Alliance, the Palm Beach County Food Bank, the Lord's Place, Gulfstream Goodwill Industries, Adopt a Family, and other service providers in Palm Beach County. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session this 7th day of November 2023, that November 11th through 18, 2023 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. And Wendy's going to say a few words.
Thank you so much for the opportunity today. Homelessness, as you know, is on the rise in Palm Beach County, but we have a great group of folks, some of them are here today, that help us every day. We have a homeless summit on Thursday. It's sold out, believe it or not, with a waiting list, so that's good. We have faith-based, we have foundations, we have homeless people, we have, you name it, it's there. Mark your calendars, January 25th, point-in-time count, 24-hour count. We need all the help we can get. So mark your calendars. And thank you again.
Okay, while they do their pictures, I would like to invite up the founders of the Archer Disability Foundation, mother and son, Rose Lee Archer and Pat Robert Archer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is actually it's my second time to get to do this proclamation, and you were one of my first ones when I was elected last year, so it's my honor. And this is your 50th anniversary for
right.
the Archer Foundation.
Vocational rehabilitation.
Okay, I should stick to the reading part then. Okay, so today we are declaring November 2023 as Palm Beach County Disability Employment Awareness Month. Whereas 2023 marks the 50th anniversary of the enactment of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, and the theme for this year's National Disability Employment Awareness Month is Advancing Access and Equity, acknowledging the decades of contributions of workers with disabilities and recognizing the value of a workforce with their skills and talents. Whereas the Archer Disability Foundation works with the Able Trust and the National Association of Governors Committees on People with Disabilities to advance students with disabilities in the school district of Palm Beach County, to increase opportunities for exceptional student education, also known as ESE, students transitioning out of high school. Disability mentoring is a valuable recruiting tool for businesses, government agencies, and organizations to create inclusion in the workplace by helping students and job seekers with disabilities explore possible career paths, build confidence, obtain job experience, develop lasting relationships, and understand the vital connection between school and work. Whereas the school district of Palm Beach County serves approximately 38,000 students identified as ESE from birth through age 22, who may have physical, cognitive, mental, or hidden disabilities that substantially limit one or more major life activities. And whereas people with disabilities confront employment barriers and social disadvantages that prevent them from natural opportunities. In 2023, the labor force participation rate for workers aged 16 to 64 is reported to be 40% for people with disabilities and 77% for those without. Whereas Floridians with disabilities represent an untapped talent source for job creators, these individuals should be offered opportunities to create productive, independent lives through social, academic, and employment environments. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, assembled in regular session the 7th day of November, 2023, that November 2023 in Palm Beach County is hereby proclaimed Palm Beach County Disability Employment Awareness Month.
Thank you, Commissioner Woodward. I'm not as tall as you, so I have to. But I thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me and to my advocacy and to my undying passion to help students and job seekers with disabilities. It's a huge part of our population that is totally overseen. We started Archer Disability Foundation in 1999, so it wasn't with vocational rehabilitation. But that being said, we presented our first disability employment awareness event in the city of Boca Raton, and then the following year we actually went into the mall. And Mayor Abrams at the time helped negotiate that. It's very interesting because our focus is on ESE transition students. I was a teen mom, and that got this entire notion that people were not paying attention to this one population in the school district, and I was correct. So with that being said, Palm Beach County does have an amazing focus on ESE transition students, and that is special educators, job coaches, and they identify transition work that could be done by some of these students. And the reason they call them transition students is because they're transitioning out of the high school, the school district, and into the community. And one of the biggest problems these children have, and their parents, is that they won't find employment and they're not going to integrate into the community. So they'll sit home and vegetate, possibly do some self-medicating, if you know where I'm going. And this is not what we want. We want them to be fulfilled in our community, and we want them to have opportunities. In 1990, the Florida legislature established Able Trust in Tallahassee to serve as a direct support organization for Florida Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. And Archer Disability Foundation works in alliance with Able Trust and encourages students with disabilities and their parents to register with vocational rehabilitation before they graduate. That's so imperative. It has to be done before they transition, not after the fact. I did the same thing with my son. I helped him get through vocational rehabilitation registration and work with a number of different people that actually take them. They call them customers, but I call him my son. And they actually get them to get into the workforce through the direction of a nonprofit organization. I actually went to Tallahassee and discussed with an ombudsman how I could be that particular nonprofit organization, and it worked for me. Just as my son and went through school, he actually graduated with a degree from Palm Beach School District, and then went on to Palm Beach State College, and then into Florida Atlantic University. And here we are now with the district, and we have an issue that is huge. As Commissioner Woodward has mentioned, there was a study in Tallahassee done in 2022 called Solving Florida's Labor Shortage, the Hidden Solution. It reveals the current labor force participation rate in Florida for persons with disabilities, ages 16 to 64, is 40% gap between persons with disabilities and without disabilities. And at this moment, Florida has nearly 500,000 unfilled jobs, and forecasts indicate continuing growth of new jobs between now and 2030. We hear chatter nationally on the conversations about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we don't really include people with disabilities. It's a very small, minute percentage that don't think that they should be included. And so it's always my job to let them know my chatter's coming around town as well. So business, government, and community leaders all need to recognize the need for quality workers and a diverse workforce. Businesses and employers are beginning to recognize the value of hiring non-traditional sources of talent. Floridians with disabilities are a part of the workforce shortage solution, and they do have amazing work ethics. And this report illustrates the disability workforce landscape in Florida and what is possible when employers realize the value of disability-inclusive workforce. Archer Disability Foundation wants everyone to know in the next 10 years, it's imperative to close the labor force participation gap for Floridians with disabilities by at least 10%. That equals 300,000 new students will be transitioning into the workforce in the state of Florida with disabilities. That, to me, is something that cannot be covered up. Archer Disability Foundation asks the county commissioners, our administrator, Virginia Baker, and all of you left in the audience and possibly watching this on Channel 20, that you need to help increase this population in our labor force. The labor pool that you may have may consider a part-time person that's transitioning out, that can do something that you need done, anything, even have paperwork in the paper shredder, just little things to begin, and then you teach them skills, and then they develop more skills, and before you know it, you have the most valuable employee that you have. Now, I'd like to introduce a young man who graduated years ago as an ESE student from the school district, who earned a GED because in those days they had special degrees. I, as an advocate, was too, like Pat, spent a lot of time being appointed and reappointed by governors to be a disability advocate in this state. And one of the things that I knew for sure is that my son was not going to be stuck with a special degree. So we got to pass some of those laws. So may I introduce this young man who graduated not only from our school district, from Palm Beach State College and from Florida Atlantic University, and is now working 2 part-time jobs and continues to look for full-time work as a videographer, photographer, or anything in television production. Pat Robert Archer.
Hi, Mine. Thank you for this time. I'm an example of a self-advocate appointed by 2 Florida governors, Charlie Crist in 2010 and reappointed by Florida Governor Rick Scott in 2017. As a member of the Florida Development Disabilities Council, as a council member, we work to create public policy to strengthen laws for Floridians with development disabilities, to gain independent living skills, transportation accommodations, secondary education laws, employment and job skill building. People with disabilities can ultimately be tax-paying citizens. I am a living proof using disability-related resources in all levels of education in Palm Beach County and job skills development from business and government agencies. Persons with disabilities can be contributing tax-paying citizens to grow Florida's workforce. I worked for 3 decades to graduate with a bachelor's in multimedia studies at Florida Atlantic University. I volunteer as a photographer and videographer at FAU alumni and Archer Disability Foundation outreach events. I also work part-time at public supermarkets and part-time at Excel Technologies, delivering mail throughout the Boca Raton FAU campus. My dream is to have a career of my dreams and continue to seek full-time employment with benefits in video production. Thank you for your time, and please consider hiring people with special abilities to create an all-inclusive workplace.
Thank you. May I have Noel Martinez, Dave Markarian, Tim Burke, and anyone else from the chamber who wants to come up? Where'd Dave go? I just saw him. Oh, there he is. It's my pleasure to actually give these 2 awards, these recognitions, to the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce and to Noel Martinez. As a longtime member of the Palm Beach North Chamber, I was a past trustee, past chair of the Smart and Connected Regions Task Force, Government Affairs Committee, Economic Affairs Committee, 2017 Woman of the Year. It is my distinct pleasure to recognize the best chamber in the state of Florida. So, yeah, you can cheer for that. That's fine. So, this is a proclamation recognizing the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce for being selected as Chamber of the Year by the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals. Whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce is one of the largest and most active business organizations in Southeast Florida, and whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce was founded in 2007 as a result of a merger from 2 previous chambers, the Jupiter Tequesta Juno Beach Chamber of Commerce, founded in 1948, and the North Palm Beach County Chamber of Commerce, founded in 1947. And whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce strives to be a dynamic organization that serves as a vital business and community resource, and whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce represents over 750 business members and plays a pivotal role in fostering economic growth, collaboration, and prosperity, and whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce was recognized at the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals annual conference and award ceremony as a certified plus Chamber of Commerce for being an origination that exceeded all Chamber of Commerce organizational benchmarks, and whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce was recognized at the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals annual conference and award ceremony as Chamber of the Year in the 1 million plus category for its exceptional achievements and outstanding performance in various areas, including financial stability, membership recruitment and retention, government relations, strategic planning, communications, events, and innovations. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, Florida, and assembled in regular session this 7th day of November 2023, that the board hereby recognizes the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce for being selected as Chamber of the Year by the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals. And while I still have them up here, Noel Martinez. Noel and I did a podcast last month and realized that we've known each other for over 20 years in different roles. When Noel was working at the chamber and I was doing philanthropy for Brayman Motor Cars. It has been a very long and wonderful friendship. You'll see our pictures posted on Facebook all the time together. He's like the son I never had. So I also want to recognize the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce President, CEO Noel Martinez, for being selected as Executive of the Year by the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals. Whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce is one of the largest and most active business organizations in Southeast Florida, and a lot of the wording from the previous one, so I'm not going to read it again. But what I would like to say is, whereas the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce represents over 750 business members and plays a vital role in fostering economic growth, collaboration, and prosperity, and whereas Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Noel Martinez was recognized at the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals annual conference and award ceremony as Executive of the Year for his notable leadership qualities, accomplishments, education through professional development, and enhancement of the chamber profession. So now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Palm Beach County, assembled in regular session the 7th day of November 2023, that the board hereby recognizes Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Noel Martinez for being selected as Executive of the Year by the Florida Association of Chamber Professionals. My friend Noel Martinez.
Thank you, Maria. I'll be short and sweet. I am beyond honored and humbled to be recognized today. This is a true testament of all the amazing things going on in Palm Beach County. We have 17 amazing chambers of commerce. 3 or 4 of them are here today within our county doing some amazing work. So I could not be more honored and humbled. And let's celebrate this as our award, because this is our award for all the hard work that we are all doing together. Thank you so much, Maria, for this recognition. Thank you to the commission for all you do, Commissioner Bernard, my great friend as well. Thank you so much for your support as well. Thank you.
So just an FYI, the Palm Beach North Chamber encompasses 13 cities, 13 municipalities. So some are in my district and some are in MAC, so I'm going to have MAC come and join us.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out this morning. It's I think one of our board's favorite things to do every month is to present these certificates and proclamations. All right. We are now on to, we'll start with item 3, GG2, as that was pulled first. So if we can ask our audit folks to join us. So this is item 3, GG2, on page 51 of your agenda. Yes. Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, just for anybody who's listening, the Board of County Commissioners has the opportunity to hire and fire only 3 people. One of those is Virginia Baker, our county administrator. One of those is Denise Kaufman, our attorney. And the other is our auditor. So this is your welcome to the new job. And so I wanted to actually give you an opportunity to talk about your report, because it's something that we're supposed to get on an annual basis. And instead of a receive and file, I thought you'd like to share with us today.
Okay, thank you. David Zamora, County Internal Auditor. Thank you for the chance to come out and talk about our FY24 proposed audit work plan. We conduct an annual risk assessment each year to identify where do we want to focus, where's the best place to concentrate our audit efforts. And so we do an assessment of where the risk is in the county. It's a It's a three-part process. We gather information from all the department heads who know specifically what their departments do. We pull information from our accounting system and say, well, what do the numbers look like? How much are we spending? How much are we getting in grants? And we also get input from all levels of the county, from the commissioners, from department heads, assistant county administrator, from our county administrator, to determine what's important to them, what things do we need to focus on. At that time, we take these factors and rank them and prioritize what departments really could use our focus. And so that's how we generate a work plan. Each year, our work plan is reviewed and approved by the Internal Audit Committee, who meets each quarter. So for the FY24 work plan, this has been reviewed and approved. And so we have added 3 more audits to our work plan based on what the highest risks at the time are. We do understand, though, risk doesn't change. This is our initial assessment, I like to call it, because things evolve and people change, processes change. So at any time, we can pivot and refocus our efforts to where a new change might be. So we continually welcome more input. So I'm here and happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Thank you. Commissioner Marino, you recognized.
Yes, and God forbid I should find my paperwork. On the report. Sorry, thank you. On the report, there were 2 things that piqued my interest. One was the on the 4th page of what you provided us in the agenda summary, project carryover from fiscal year 2023, actually from fiscal year 2021, Office of Equal Business Opportunity Ordinance Implementation, risk medium status suspended. Can you please explain to us why it was suspended?
Sure. The Office of Equal Business Opportunity audit came to us in a previous work plan. We wanted to look at the new ordinance implementation at that time. And the focus of that review is to see that the reports that they're now required to give to the board are accurate and reliable. So we for sure want to be ahead of the process and say, let's make sure this ordinance is implemented as required. When we started our audit work, at the time, the department had not submitted the report at that time. They were still working on it. So it was difficult for us to test the accuracy and reliability until they actually have a report that's submitted. So they've been working on that. That report is actually up on the agenda for today's meeting, so we're getting it submitted, and we have already been in communication with the department to verify the accuracy and reliability of that reporting.
But by ordinance, this is supposed to be done on an annual basis?
Correct.
And so it hasn't been done on an annual basis?
That's correct.
Okay. You know, we talk about efficiency in government, and this disturbs me a little bit when there is something that is requested by an ordinance and then it doesn't take place. So in the future, if something like this happens again, I am going to pull the item and for further review, because I don't think we're going into this with all the information that we're supposed to have. And then also on the next page, under new projects for fiscal year 2024, you have Palmtran, and on the last paragraph in the report, Palmtran was on the fiscal year 2022 work plan based on county commissioner concerns. For fiscal year 2024, Palmtran ranks in the top 5 in charges for services, operational, and personal spending. In addition, Palmtran ranks #1 in the county for grant revenues. This year's risk assessment again includes concerns regarding efficiency of the fixed route operations and the effectiveness of Palmtran. I'm glad you're bringing this to the attention, because I know that myself and several other the commissioners are concerned about efficiencies with Palmtran, expenditures with Palmtran, how the grant dollars are funded, are paid out, and how it affects our residents and our taxpayers. So I do appreciate you being here, and I hope that in the future, if this ordinance passes later on in the day, that we have a report as it's supposed to be, once a year.
Yes, very well.
Thank you. That's all.
Is that it?
So
Would you like to
now
make a
I make a motion that we receive and file.
This is on, so we have a motion on item 3, GG2, to receive and file by Commissioner Marino, a second by Commissioner Baxter. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, all opposed, that motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much for being here, and now we'll move on to our second pulled item, and that's going to be 3X1, found on page 39 of your agenda. Commissioner, or Vice Mayor Sachs, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And this is going to be very short. I wanted to make sure that it is public that we have wonderful volunteer vets who work with our animal care and control, and I wanted to read their names. This particular issue, 3X1, calls for the county to maintain our after-hours veterinarian services, which is important, and I absolutely support it. But I do want everyone to know that we have a number of wonderful vets, and I tell you, as the owner of dogs, and a cat or two comes around, I know the cost of veterinarian services. It's like taking care of another member of the family, which has become. So it is very important that we have volunteers, vets, who come in and work with our little dogs and cats at our animal care and control. And Mayor, may I just read these 5 names into the record?
Please.
Thank you. I'd like to notice, and this is completely unrehearsed, they probably are not here, but I want everyone to know that Dr. Amanda Rooney has 44.5 hours volunteering, Dr. Sarah Nellie Timberlake, Dr. Daisy DeRuy, Dr. Roxana Chan, Dr. Jamie Caroline, Dr. Kaya Rodriguez, has also all of these vets, commercial vets who have volunteered their hours to work with our animals free for the county. And our facility has a relationship with a veterinarian ophthalmologist, Dr. Susan Carastro, and she has wonderful support for us, as well as Dr. Bruce Corin, a Palm Beach County veterinarian, and Dr. Lisa Radosta, and Dr. Christine Lund. I want to thank all of these folks for working with our animal care and control, and of course to thank our wonderful staff there at our animal care and control for providing such good services for our animals. Thank you very much. And that's it. And with
Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'm ready to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that consent agenda 3X1 be approved.
Thank you. We have a second. Okay, we have a motion by Vice Mayor Sachs on item 3X1 to approve, and a second by Commissioner Baxter. I don't see any further discussion. All in favor, all opposed, that motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. All right, we are now back to, I think, regular order. And we are going to start with one of our favorite topics, 5A1, and that's going to be airports. Does anyone need a presentation on this item?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve item 5A1, A and B.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bernard on 5A, A1, A, and B, a second by Commissioner Marino. Seeing no further discussion, Commissioner Baxter, you recognized? No. Oh, sorry. Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor, all opposed, that motion carries 7-0. Okay, moving on, we are now on to item 5B1. This
Mayor.
is, yes.
Forgive me. I was waiting for the regular agenda. I know we have several people here, I think, that are waiting to hear, and I think if, in the essence of time, I would like to move to put the last agenda item now instead of waiting till the end so they can go on with their day.
Okay. That's, that would be 5E2?
5E1,
Oh, 5E1.
Mhm.
That's the second to last item. That's okay.
second to last, excuse me.
Okay, so we've got a request by Commissioner Baxter to reorder the agenda to move 5E1 ahead of 5B1. And
Mr. Mayor,
what?
can we do both 5E1 and 5E2 since they're both
I mean,
go
one's just a,
together?
is just a, okay, let's move them both. Okay. So we have a motion to reorder the agenda to move 5E1 and 5E2 ahead of 5B1. Any further discussions? Seeing none, all in favor, all opposed. That motion carries 7-0, so we have reordered the agenda. We will now move on to item 5E1. Thank you, Commissioner. Is there more comment? Sorry. Anything else?
Excuse me, Mayor?
Oh.
Could you just repeat the seconder for the, could you repeat the maker and the second for the record?
The maker was Commissioner Baxter, second was Commissioner Bernard.
Good morning, Mayor Weiss, Vice Mayor Sachs, and members of the board and County Administrator Baker. Joining me today is Tanya Davis Johnson, Director of Office of Equal Opportunity, Yamil Vasquez, Contract Analyst, Deidre Kyle, Small Business Development Specialist 3, and Richard Senna, Assistant County Attorney. We'll be presenting to you the multi-year Small Minority Women Business Enterprise Utilization and Participation Report for fiscal year 2019 through fiscal year 2022. This presentation will provide an Office of Equal Opportunity of Business Opportunity Program overview, including by fiscal year, a review of the cumulative dollars spent with small, minority, and women-owned businesses, as well as a spend by industry. We will also present the overall spend by commission district, as well as the number of vendors certified year by year and by commission district. Additionally, we will present recommendations for furtherance of our local small minority women business enterprise program. With that, I will turn it over to Tanya Davis Johnson and her staff to proceed with the presentation.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, and Administrator Baker. According to the Florida Department of Revenue and Florida Department of Commerce, and based upon tax documents filed by the businesses, 93.5% of businesses in Palm Beach County have 25 or less employees, and 75% of those businesses have 5 or less employees. These figures confirm our belief that small business is big business in Palm Beach County. The first slide that we're going to share with you is the timeline, the business timeline. September 1991, the county adopted its first MWBE program. October 1, 2002, let me back up. In September of 2002, the program sunset, and the board adopted an SBE race gender neutral program. This had a recommended goal of 15% on all contracts. In 2017, the 5-year disparity study was conducted, and it identified barriers, including various forms of marketplace discrimination. January 1, the EBO ordinance was enacted. After working with the disparity studies consultant and county departments to gather data and other supporting documents and information, disparity was identified for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and white females. Slide 4 and 5 are the breakdown of where the disparity was found by industry. After presentation of the disparity study results, a series of public meetings were held with our internal and external stakeholders, and the BCC approved the Small Minority Women-Owned Business Program and Ordinance, which became effective January 1, 2019. I want you to keep in mind that federal and state procurements are not subject to the EBO ordinance, and preferences are not applicable. Local ad valorem dollars are subject to the EBO ordinance. Next slide. Our mission, vision, and why are quite clear, and our staff works diligently to ensure that we provide the best possible outcome for our certified vendors as they navigate the procurement process, as they respond to solicitations, and as they successfully perform on awarded contracts. With the new program and ordinance, affirmative procurement initiatives, or APIs as we will call them, were introduced, and they are program tools which are used to encourage SMWBE participation. A few of the most commonly used affirmative procurement initiatives include our sheltered market, which refers to informal, small, single, or multi-trade contracts valued below $100,000, reserved for businesses owned and controlled by certified SMWBEs, where availability is evident. Price preference. It's a provision requiring awards of purchases to be made to the lowest responsive bidder unless a certified bidder's bid is within 10% of the lowest non-small business bid, in which case the award shall be made to the certified small business submitting the lowest responsive bid. It should be noted that price preference is not awarded on every solicitation. Another API that was introduced is goal setting. Goal setting is based on industry categories, vendor availability, project-specific characteristics, and SMWBE utilization for different contract types. The process of goal setting begins in the department seeking to procure a good or service. The scope of work is defined, and the commodity codes are identified. Commodity codes are used to identify available certified SMWBEs. It should be noted that if there are no SMWBEs available to perform, a waiver of the API can be submitted for consideration prior to release of the solicitation. In an instance where there is no availability, an API will not be placed on the solicitation. When an API is assigned to a solicitation, and responding bidders and vendors are determined to be unavailable, a waiver may be requested prior to bid opening or submittal date. The waiver request must be accompanied by good faith effort documents, which will be reviewed and verified by the Office of Equal Business Opportunity. When and if the Office of Equal Business Opportunity determines that good faith efforts were made and there is not sufficient availability, a modification of waiver may be granted. If the waiver is modified, the submittal date will be modified and all bidders will be notified of the modification of the API.
Bless you.
Certification. It is the procedure that the EBO uses to determine whether a firm is a bona fide small, minority, and/or women business enterprise. Firms must satisfy eligibility criteria for certification. Every 3 years, certified businesses are required to submit their most recent tax returns and other documents in order for the OEBO to determine continued program eligibility. The EBO certification is accepted by the Solid Waste Authority, the South Florida Water Management District, and the City of Riviera Beach. Additionally, Palm Beach County is engaged in an interlocal agreement with the City of West Palm Beach and the School District of Palm Beach County. This is a paper reduction agreement in that a vendor can request an interlocal cover sheet from any one of the agencies that they are certified with in order to seek certification with the agencies that are participating in the interlocal agreement. Prior to the implementation of the OEBO program ordinance, there were 454 certified vendors in 2018. As you can see from the slide, there has been an increase fiscal year over fiscal year of certified vendors. Beginning in 2019, there was an increase of 53, in 2020, 111, in 2021, 75, and in 2022, 14. The next slide that you will see will be a breakdown of certified vendors by commission district by fiscal year. The process of certification is monitored in real time, and as vendors are certified or recertified, certifications may expire. Additionally, as vendors exceed the established revenue size standard for their respective industry, they are graduated from the program. During fiscal year 19 through fiscal year 2022, a total of 21 vendors graduated from the program. The breakdown of those vendors are as follows. 14 were SBEs, 2 WBEs, and 5 MBEs. For simplicity's sake, SBEs are our predominantly white males, WBEs are our white females, MBEs are our minority business enterprises, and they are inclusive of both male and female. Graduated vendors may continue to pursue work with the county. However, they are no longer eligible to receive the preferences established for certified vendors per the ordinance. Outreach. Outreach plays a critical role in the overall success of the program. The OEBO developed events to increase SMWBE certification and availability. We seek to improve responsiveness to solicitations, and we also provide training on how to do business with Palm Beach County. The EBO has hosted, co-hosted, or participated in more than 172 outreach activities, both targeted and general, with local resource partners, county departments, and municipalities. The slide shows the events that we have participated in, contributed to, or developed in an effort to increase the number of certified vendors doing business with Palm Beach County. I would like to take a moment to highlight the Palm Beach Partners Business Matchmaker Conference and Expo, our premier outreach event, which is in its 17th year, which serves to match local small minority women business enterprises with key decision makers in both public and the private sector. I'll turn it over now to Ms. Vasquez, who will walk us through the numbers.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the board, and Administrator Baker. The following slides represent the cumulative participation of small minority women business enterprises in Palm Beach County from fiscal year 2019 to fiscal year 2022 on contracts pertinent to the OEBO or EBO ordinance. The total participation of small minority and women business enterprises, SMWBEs, amounted to 27.71%, or $171,319,301.13. Of this amount, 18.42% of $113,897,029.92 went to SBEs, which is predominantly white males. 2.82%, or $17,454,827.41, went to WBEs, which are predominantly white females. 6.46%, or $39,967,443.80, went to MBEs, composed of males and females, Asian Americans, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Native Americans. The distribution of these funds within these groups, the MBE, was as follows: male and female. The MBE Asians received 0.62% of the funds disbursed, which is $3,842,817.72. The MBE Black, male and female, received 2.01% of $12,438,5 $571.03. The MBE Hispanics received 3.83%, or $23,686,055.05 of the dollars. The next slide will showcase the cumulative participation by commission district based on the geographical location of the small business. Okay? This includes the dollars and also the percentage of participation, cumulative. The next slide, although it's a little busy, okay, it provides the information of the participation dollars per fiscal year and industries. The industries on this slide are construction, goods and services, professional services, CCNA, which is Consultants, Competitive Negotiations Act, which is special certifications through the engineering department, which includes architects, engineers, land surveyors. And the next category is professional services non-CCNAs. Those are your accountants, consultants, and trainers. So the data indicates that small businesses have made some progress in participating in the procurement process of the county. However, when examining the allocation of the funds across all industries, there is still significant disproportion between the participation rates of SBEs and the minority groups. With that said, I'm now going to turn it over to our director, Tanya Davis-Johnson.
The SMWB program is making progress and is having a positive economic impact on Palm Beach County. However, continued support and operation of the EBO program is necessary to achieve parity. To strengthen the program and increase small and minority women business enterprise participation and utilization, staff requests the following. We're requesting to receive and file the multi-year report. We're asking for an authorization of an up to 2-year extension of the EBO program and ordinance to allow time to solicit, complete, and consider the findings of an updated disparity study, and to also fairly monitor and track an uninterrupted period of 2 years for overall county spend that was altered due to COVID-19 when emergency purchases were not subject to the Equal Business Opportunity Program. We are asking you to authorize an updated disparity study. We are also asking you to authorize funding not to exceed $500,000 for the updated study. We are also asking to have you approve a budget transfer of $500,000 from general fund contingency reserves to fund the updated disparity study. And we're also asking you to support an increase in the revenue size standards from $9 million to $13 million in construction, from $5 million to $7 million professional services CCNA required, from $5 million to $7 million for goods, and from $4 million to $5.7 for professional services non-CCNA and other services. We thank you for your time and your attention, and we will take any questions that you may have at this time.
Thank you very much. I don't see any questions. Oh, Commissioner Bernard, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the recommendations to support an increase in the size standards to align with the current consumer price index, you've recommended to increase some of these amounts. Do we have like a study that tells us the impact of increasing those amounts?
There is not, excuse me, there is not a study. We use the Consumer Price Inflection Index. inflation index, which shows us what those size standards should be. We took a look at SBA, we looked at NAICS, which is also a commodity code provision provider, and we took a look at what our counterparts to the north and south of us were as it relates to their size standards, and these size standards are in line with where they are. We also want to make you aware that our size standards had not been increased since 2009.
Okay. Now, I know on slide 10, you had those 21 graduated firms. How would increasing the size, the amount, impact the size, those graduated firms?
Those graduated firms may be able to return to the program if they so choose, based on the increase in those size standards.
Is that something that we want to do to allow them to be able to come back if they've graduated? If we haven't studied it?
If we haven't studied?
Since we haven't studied how would it impact, is that something that we would want those graduated firms to be able to come back into the SMWE?
It would be beneficial for them to come back because some of these businesses have decided that within the realm of our program, they would like to stay as a small business enterprise. And so it would increase the pool of available vendors, of course, but it would also give those vendors an opportunity to come back and do business with the county receiving those preferences. What I would like to say is that the Office of Equal Business Opportunity by ordinance has a provision where we can have an emerging business size standard, which would be 50% less than what we are proposing, if that makes sense to you. Therefore, we would have 2 tiers of small businesses and the categories for which they would be placed in.
Commissioner Marino had asked a question in regards to the annual report from the audit. Can you kind of elaborate on this item?
Absolutely. The Office of Equal Business Opportunity, when the program was implemented, we were working with the clerk of courts as well as our information system services in order to create mechanisms so that we could capture the data and present to you. We wanted to make sure that the data was accurate. We wanted to make sure that there were internal controls that were in place, and that did take some time. However, each year we were looking to gather the information, but as we were extracting information from the systems, we would find anomalies or issues with the data as it was reported out. And the one thing that I did not want to do for this board was to present you information that we could not stand behind, that was not accurate, and that could be recreated when there was an audit.
How do we, because the EBO ordinance states that we need to get an annual report. And, today, we've got a December 31st deadline. And this is really the first report that we're receiving. How do we avoid this issue in the future to make sure that we're getting these annual reports so in that way we as a board can make the right recommendations?
So moving forward, now that we have the internal controls, I will say with you, when we initially started this process, when the first study was conducted, we were in a decentralized environment where there was no uniform system of data capturing. We now are utilizing the information that comes directly from the Clerk and Comptroller's Office, which is the Advantage Financial System, and ECMS has been modified to accept all contract data information. Moving forward, based on the modifications and the work that has been done with the clerk's office and ISS, we know that we can now produce these reports in an annual manner that will be correct, accurate, and forthcoming in the schedule in which it's supposed to.
In the future, what would be the time frame in terms of providing these reports to us to make sure that we're making the correct decisions? What's the time frame? So that way we know as a board that your department will provide us this report.
Annually. We will place ourselves on the Board of County Commission agenda. We will go before Mrs. Baker to bring the information for her review, and we will submit it and present it to the board. I am comfortable that the information that we are capturing is correct, and we will be forthcoming with that information to the board.
May I respond?
Mm-hmm. Administrator, you recognize.
Thank you. We've got measures in place that this will not occur again. As Ms. Johnson stated, when we started down this track, what happened was we identified the fact that we were decentralized and not all departments was reporting the information the same way, capturing the same data. That no longer exists. We've got systems, internal controls in place. We don't process invoices without the appropriate information being inputted into the system. So we're not relying on an individual to pull the data. It is coming from a manual system that says, in order to process the invoice, here's the data that must be in. So that is automatic. I am going to say to you that your annual reports will be done and submitted to you after our audit has been completed. Because when the external audit has been completed, the numbers are final. And I don't want to have to explain to you why numbers changed. So month after that, we'll be submitting that information to you. Normally, the audit is completed sometime in February, March, and Sherry texts me if that's not accurate. But usually that's the time frame. So by April, we should be giving you this report with audited figures.
Follow up, Mr. Mayor. So one of your recommendations is for us to receive and file the report. I don't know if I want to receive and file it since the audit was suspended. And so, I know for me, I'm not prepared to receive and file this report. I would prefer that we would not receive and file the report and to let the audit take place. And then so in that way, if it's going to be in February or in March, then at that time, we as a board can receive and file the report.
I'm sorry, the numbers that are in this report, they have been audited by our external auditor. And so these are solid numbers. They're not changing. That is why they're 2019 through 2022. We don't have 23 as a part of these numbers because the external auditor has not completed those numbers. If you prefer not to take these reports, because I don't want you to think these numbers haven't been audited, they have been audited by our external auditors as part of our external audit process.
Yeah, I'd prefer to have the
internal
auditor since it was suspended, for the internal auditor to review these reports for all the years. So in that way, when we're making a decision, we would have the comfort to know that the external audit was done and the internal audit was done. So that's my first recommendation, is to not receive and file the actual report. In regards to an updated disparity study, what's the process in terms of doing an updated disparity study?
Would you take the question? Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor. Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Ms. Baker. Prior to joining the Palm Beach County Office of Equal Business Opportunity, I spent about 30 years conducting disparity studies across this country. The process is very difficult and time-consuming, and as lawyers on the panel, you know that a race-based program has to be narrowly tailored, and the data has to be accurate in order to come up with the findings. It is a remedial program, so we need to make sure that it only goes as far as possible to remediate the problem. So that takes a lot of time in terms of data collection, which is going to be reduced this time because it's been automated. But still, the data needs to be analyzed. Statistical analysis, regression analysis, all will have to be conducted, as well as redetermining what the availability is in the marketplace. So we want to make sure that all that information is correct, accurate, so that the recommendations that come forward is something that the county can stand behind and support, and not be in limbo as to what you need to do.
So I know one of the recommendation is to do the 2-year extension. Do you believe that if the board grants the 2-year extension, you'll be able to for us to get that updated study?
Yes, sir, I do. We have to go through the solicitation process, but the study itself should take between 6 and 9 months, I assume, for you to get the recommendations.
And do we have all of the processes in place to make sure that whoever is doing the study is able to gather the information accurately?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In regards to who would be doing the study, I know the last study was done by Mason Tillman. That was done by Mason Tillman. Can we go out for an RFP so in that way we would have anyone to compete for that updated study?
Yes.
Okay. So now one of the recommendation that you had asked was for us to authorize an amount. I know for me, I'm not prepared to authorize an amount today. I just think that we should put out an RFP, figure out exactly how much it's going to cost, and then for us as a board to make a determination in regards to the funding amount. Do you support that, Ms. Baker? Or?
Yes,
Yes.
that is fine, Commissioner.
Okay, and then the other recommendations are to increase the size standards. I know for me, like, I'm not prepared to accept increasing these standards until there's a study that's done to tell us what's the impact, and then plus we would have maybe the updated study, so in that way we as a board can know whether we would want to increase those sizes. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we'll hear from Commissioner Woodward, followed by Commissioner. No, we need our county attorney. Go ahead.
Just so that we all understand, in order to authorize an extension of the EBO ordinance, you have to authorize a new disparity study. And that's the only, they tie together. The reason we're authorizing an extension is so that there is time to complete the study. Also, I have to point out that the county attorney's position has been consistent with Commissioner Bernard's, and that we shouldn't be changing size standards until a study is done.
Just to clarify, my understanding is Commissioner Bernard has not, his question was regarding the funding and not authorizing the funding at this time until we get back to RFP. Are you saying that that's not allowed?
I think that that's fine, but this commission must make a determination now that you are going to do a disparity study.
Understand. Just clarifying.
Correct.
Thank you. Commissioner Woodward, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Since I'll skip ahead to my question on the disparity study. Can you be specific on what the metrics are that are being measured in the disparity study?
With the caveat that I'm not in the disparity study arena any further, but typically it would be the utilization, which you have in your report now, of the dollars that have been spent with the businesses, and that's all businesses, as well as generating the availability in the market area. And that's the area in which takes the most time and the most sets of analyses, because that is one of the areas in which most disparity studies are challenged. So we want to make sure that the time and the data is accurate as possible to minimize any type of errors that may occur.
Okay, my concern, just for my fellow commissioners, I come from the world of contracting before doing this, and I know firsthand that there's a number of contractors that exist who, unfortunately for us, do not want to do business with government. They just don't. And I wanted to know from the previous study and for future studies, is there a willingness or a desire from these businesses that get identified? Do they even want to do business with us? Or because some just don't, or some, they like to stay in their lane, which is perfectly fine. They're running a successful business. But is that part of the study to identify, not just that they exist, but that they actually want to do business with us?
Absolutely. That's one of the factors. There is a survey that's conducted, typically with a broad range that's randomly selected to identify what the metrics are in terms of their business, the size of their business, education, how long they've been in business, and their willingness to do business with the county.
How do you measure their willingness with random sampling?
We ask them.
Okay. And so, and everyone that's identified, we would then be given that information to know that those businesses do want to do business with us.
The survey results will be included in the study.
But not the businesses?
Typically not. Because this is an area in which there is litigation, and then there's also what we call the ICE factor, that by putting the names out there, they may get some form of retaliation for participating. And we want to minimize that and make sure that they are comfortable answering the questions honestly.
Okay. Because that's been one of my concerns. If we're going to, say that we have this number of businesses that we're not using, are we handicapping ourselves and looking at there's this many businesses, but we don't actually know who they are, and how do we find them, and how do we get them to become certified? Because you do a great job doing certifications, but if the study is identifying this and we can't be told who they are.
Well, let's do it both ways, though. I need you to understand that we're doing not only the small businesses, but all businesses in the market area. So that
Not
means
just in the 4 categories that we're, that
well,
this
the 4
ordinance is for?
categories, but non-minority businesses as well.
Right.
So we don't know what the universe of the non-minority business are, but we're doing estimates based on the data that's collected, and that's going to be analyzed as same as we are doing with the SBE or the minority population and the small business population. So all of those segments are going to be analyzed, measured, and the results produced. I can't tell you how many of the 14,000 vendors on our database are participating. That's in the purchasing database, and they just have to register. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to want to do business with the county as well. So we have to take the factors in place on both sides of the equation and make sure that it's equal in terms of the types of analysis that occur.
Okay, so is there then maybe a disparity study, which I know that's what this is for today, but is there a different type of study that would actually give the information I'm asking for? I mean, we did a survey to our constituents recently, just asking all kinds of questions about Palm Beach County. Is there something similar that we could do to reach out to businesses to kind of, gauge their willingness, their desire, and even give us feedback on what type of barriers exist that would make them not want to do business with us?
Commissioner, I can add, so during the disparity studies, I think I'm probably the only commissioner who was here when this was passed. The Supreme Court is, they have like the exact rule in terms of how the study needs to be done, because it's got to be, when you find there's a disparity, and I believe that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas that the study identified. And so the remedy that we had to do had to be narrowly tailored, so that way we can address those specific disparities. What would be very important is, I know the last time when we did the study, gathering the data was very, very difficult. And so what I'm hoping is that when we're doing this new study, that the data is clear and that whoever wants to challenge that can get access to those data, and we would be able to get those information. But we have to be mindful of just sometimes you don't want to identify some of these businesses because we don't want them to get blackballed and labeled, and so you would get that information in that study. It just, we wouldn't be able to identify the specific business that, to make sure that that specific company is not addressed.
Okay, this may be more questions off record after I digest a little bit of this. But to go back to my other, on slide 8, you had a listing of the certifications from 2018 to 2022. And now we're showing for 2022, we had 707. How many of those actually got awarded contracts or bids with us of the 707?
From the 707, we conducted a survey, and 300 and hold on.
307.
Yes, 307 have not recorded a payment from the county.
Do we have the numbers for the previous years? Has that number, is that?
We can do that. We can also run those reports. We don't have them here now, but yes, we can do that.
So that's a little less than half of those have not actually been awarded. Well, at least in that fiscal year, they did not receive payment. Now, does that count? Do we know if they were subs? If they were subs to a prime that got a contract with us, would it be recorded that they got payment?
That is correct. Any category of payments, as a prime, as a sub, any payments, yes.
And Commissioner, that's even with our overall procurement process, you may find not every vendor in our vendor base has received a payment either. They're just signing up so that they're then eligible to participate in our procurement process.
Okay. So, and you mentioned emerging businesses tier. Could you explain that a little further for me?
Emerging businesses tier, that simply allows us to have the size standards that are currently in existence, the 9 million, the 5, 5, and 4. We can reduce that for smaller businesses that are emerging in order to have a separate size standard for those businesses that may not be faring as well as the larger, smaller businesses. So it's really a microcosm of the small businesses, extracting out those who may be smaller, who may not have collected the same amount of money that larger, smaller businesses have. So it's just a process by which we could then establish other APIs that would specifically be for that group of businesses that have not met that threshold, that larger threshold.
But that would be something part of the study before we adjust any pricing. It would be part of that for us to, we can have more information to make that decision, right?
We can gather more information.
Okay. And yeah, just my last one is on, which slide? Slide 13. We're showing, and I did my own spreadsheet last night. I could share with everyone if they want to know. It's by district.
By district.
Geographically, where districts 3, 4, and 5 together equal the next two biggest ones. So do we know, is there a reason do the businesses not exist in South and Central County? Are they just not doing business with us? Is this also, I know disparity study is a different thing.
District 2 is just better.
Yeah, well, districts 2 and 7, you guys are killing it, but I'm just, is there outreach for these areas? Do the businesses not exist? What's happening with our small businesses in South County?
So businesses certified from all over the county. We may have a heavier concentration in District 7 than we may have in District 2 or 5. It is just based on a business's choice and decision to certify. And so those that have certified with us that reflect in that geographical area, this is the activity that is shown. They may just make a business decision that they don't want to certify with Palm Beach County, and so therefore they don't, but we report out the information on those that are.
Okay. So, I mean, it could be, a lot of this could just be similar. It's choices and decisions that businesses are making on whether or not to do business with us versus what we can do to lure them in, I guess.
Well, we certainly would appreciate the support of the commission districts to help us to host outreach events in areas where you may find a heavier concentration of small minority women business enterprises that may want to do business with the county. You may have a reach beyond where we have a reach, and we would happily schedule and perform an outreach event in your commission district to invite those businesses that are in the district to come over and certify. We spend a lot of time, we did, one of the outreaches that we did was the OEBO Roadshow, and we took it north, south, east, and west. And we were, in doing that, we were looking to increase the number of SMWBEs in those various geographic areas, sharing with them the benefits of certification, what it means to respond to a solicitation, how to respond, and the things that they need to do in order to be successful in the program. So we're always looking to partner with our district commissioners. We share information on the outreach events with your staff so that they can blast it to your databases. And so wherever we can get that additional support in order to increase the number of SMWBEs, we certainly stand open and ready to do just that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor, you're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I think that the Solid Waste Authority has no input into these studies at all. That's a completely separate
They have a separate
entity. And when you do your study, would you also include their studies as well, Solid Waste Authority, because they also have an outreach for small minority women-based businesses? Because I think it would be interesting to see how they operate their business outreach, and maybe we can learn from them as well, because it is a county business. Could certainly help.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, I have a couple questions. You talked about the exemption on procurements and the ability to modify. Do we know how often that's happened?
Exemptions or waivers?
Well, you described it as I think an exemption in your intro.
No, what I shared as it related to what's not subject to EBO, the exemption would be the state contracts and federal contracts.
No, then it must be waivers, because this
Waivers.
had to do with the fact that you now came to the conclusion there wasn't a responsible person. How often does that happen? Do you guys track that?
We track the number of waivers that we approve, but to tell you exactly how many come in at any given moment, I can definitely check with staff to provide that for you. But what we do is, as I mentioned in my opening, waivers are requested at before a solicitation becomes a solicitation, when the scope of work is determined and the commodity codes are listed. We look at those commodity codes. Our certifications are tied to commodity codes. Each vendor that certifies, we then can look to see what's in the pool of available vendors. In the event that there is no availability, a department, after they do their review and we conduct our review, can make a request for a waiver, and the waiver of an API is then granted.
Okay. How long, and how long does it take for that process to happen?
3 to 5 days.
Okay. All right. I'd be interested in if you guys track that, I would be interested to know what that is, just because I know I get complaints all the time about how long it takes us to get things done. So I'm just curious as to what this is and how, I know I just rather get real data on it. Do we have was there any reason why we didn't budget for this study?
I will take responsibility for that. That was one thing that slipped through the crack. It was not on my radar. Otherwise, it would have been a supplemental request to the board for you to consider during the budget process.
All right. In the future, I think, knowing that these things are coming up, I think it's incumbent that these items, especially at this dollar value, be included as part of the budget.
I agree with you, sir, and I do apologize to the board for letting that slip through the crack. As a result, we have put measures in place so these kinds of things don't happen again. A portal that tells us when ordinances are coming up for renewal, and any other requirements associated with it. Okay. So we've got something in place, and it should not occur again.
And then there was a question that came up about you'd made this or at least brought up this splitting up into groups as the emerging versus the non-emerging. Do we have any data regarding them and what they make up, and if we were to move forward on such because I'm not prepared to move forward on that without any data of understanding it?
So the ordinance provides that an emerging size standard could be implemented. We're not recommending that today. I just simply mentioned it as a point of information that was an option that is available to us by ordinance. We want to take a look at how the dollars are being spent, and when we show you the breakout of those dollars, SBE versus WBE versus MBEs, which is inclusive of men and women, we wanted to be able to make sure that we could accurately calculate the spend and where those businesses were falling in the threshold of the revenue size standard.
Okay, understood. I think it would be helpful if for further discussions on that, maybe when this comes back, that we actually have that data. If there was to be such a program, how it actually impacts the businesses, and what that impact would be. And then on slide number 10, and you talk about the graduating firms and the way we track them, and we split off, and you have in here on the MBEs, you denote that how many are female-owned versus non-female or male-owned, but that they also then they also sit in the female-owned businesses, the women-owned businesses as well. So they're part of both groups, right?
Repeat your question, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
If you're on your slide, so we denote on there in the MBEs, we have of the 5 MBEs that graduated, 3 of them are female-owned. And then on the women-owned, we have 2. So, but there's really 5 that are owned by women.
So they are, however, WBE, as defined, only counts white females.
So then should we have another category of female MBEs?
They are included in the minority group in which they fall.
Okay. All right. Okay. It seemed like. All right. Commissioner Marino, you're recognized.
Mm-hmm. Mayor, we have 15 cards. I have some additional questions, but if it would be okay with the board, I'd like to hear from the folks in the audience and then have my questions after.
Sure.
All right, thank you. So, as I said, we have 15 comment cards. We have 2 podiums. Please use either one. Leah Gaines, followed by Randy LeBeau. I apologize if I read that wrong. Randy, you have 2 cards in. No, they're both on 5E1. Juan Pagan and Bruce Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission, and staff. My name is Leah Gaines. I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Enterprise Opportunity. As members of a democracy, we the people must have confidence in the openness, integrity, legitimacy, and fairness of our public institutions. Access to economic prosperity is included in that. And as quiet as it may seem today in these chambers, this is our Selma moment for the minority business movement. It was been a little over 50 years ago that public policy began to influence procurement and contracting to guide the behaviors and to begin reforming the systems to ensure that there's no longer racial apartheid or segregation when it comes to public contracting. And public policy is the foundation for business creation, growth, and economic progress and prosperity. These policies heretofore have focused in 3 main areas: employment, education, and economics. But of all these 3, the least studied, the least progress has been in economics, despite its importance to Black and brown people and others for economic success and the national economic success as well. In 1965, the marches from Selma to Montgomery in Alabama were a galvanizing and pivotal moment for the civil rights movement. Today, here before us in real time in these chambers, this is our civil rights moment for economic progress for Black, brown, women, and other marginalized groups when it comes to business progress. It's been just a little over 50 years at the national level when these policies have been implemented. Here in Palm Beach County, it's been a little bit more checkered. We've been a start and stop. This is the moment for us here in Palm Beach County. We've leveled the playing field somewhat by creating a framework with the policy, but now we need fidelity to the implementation of the program and continuation of the program. To put things in perspective, in 2019, when the policy was adopted, it marked 400 years since the first Africans were held captive and brought here to Fort Point Comfort in Virginia, which 150 years later became the United States of America. For the next 250 years, the institution of slavery and Jim Crow took place, which burdened the progress of African Americans and their economic progress. And it's only been 158 years since emancipation and the enactment of the 13th Amendment. So even if Black business ownership continued to grow at its current rate of 4.72%, we would not reach parity for 256 years. So I implore you to continue to move forward with the extension of the update and the full extension of the review. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenos días, buenas tardes.
Juan,
Who's coming next?
I called his card first, but that's whoever's ready.
Okay. Good morning, all. I can only speak from the heart after being on the street for 25 years. My name is Randy Levelo. I own Levelo Construction Company, and my company, it is a product of your Office of Diversity Programs. I came here on July 4th, 1999, forget my passion, with a pair of shoes. And I recall, as it was yesterday, the moment I spoke to Alan Gray in 2004, after 3 years of having no food, gave me a lifeline. 3 months later, I got a project with the School District of Palm Beach County due to that certification when I partnered as a small business to build the J.C. Mitchell School. The impact of your program is more than numbers and studies. It's real life.
My kids, Sunrise School, Olympic High, born in Palm Beach County. After having no dreams, I have a dream today. Today, my company employs over 30 team members. We have over $40 million worth of work. Of that $40 million, due to my pay-it-forward company that I have, $10 million are going to small business, which are not part of this study here, a lot of them. The impact is profound. 75% of the business are small business, not large, small, which makes the county who it is today. In the last couple of years, we've seen incredible inflation. The dollar yesterday is not the dollar today. We've seen incredible consolidation of firms. The larger firms are getting larger and getting more work, and us, the small and medium-sized businesses, are getting less and less. It's getting harder. I still work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. It's not getting any easier. It's getting harder. The work that the Office of Diversity does and the Office of Equal Employment is crucial to all of us. There's a lot of small businesses here, like us. And we need, clearly, your support to maintain these programs. I do appreciate the work of the Office of Equal Employment Opportunity and the advocacy on behalf of the small minority, women owners, women businesses, for making a difference in our community. And I urge you to please support and don't delay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my turn, right? Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here today, Mayor, Vice Mayor, the rest of the County Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be with you. I've been a resident of Palm Beach County over 35 years. We don't want to talk about age. We're going to talk about how I think that all the business have to change. Because I came from a very big business, still 147 years in the market, but I happened to have my last 15 years with Eli Lilly, was managing the public health division for the state of Florida, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, the jails, and the VA hospitals. And my mission was to maintain open and restricted access to all the mental health drugs within the Medicaid, indigents, people in jail. That was the whole mission. What happened? You learn, and because I've been in other countries, you know what is the difference between the have and the have-nots. And that I live in Latin America, that I live in Asia, as I was with the company. And when I came here, and I've been working with this Chamber of Commerce, originally Puerto Rican Chamber of Commerce. But then as the years went by, from Broward, we brought it here, and here we changed the name to what? To the Florida Hispanic American Chamber. Why? Because every time people will come and ask me, do I have to be Puerto Rican to belong? No. This is about, we have representation here, residents of 21 countries of Latin American and the Caribbean, all the way from beautiful Mexico to dancing the tango in Argentina, coming up through the Caribbean, we go to Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba. But it's about how do we work together? How do we help the community? Of course, I get a big salary. It's 6 figures. I start with the 0 and 5 more zeros. But it's about working with the community, engaging the community, and making sure we help them forward. A lot of the businesses that belong to our chamber, they're as big as 2 if they have a meter in the room. If they don't have a meter, it's only 1. So this is how we're going to help them. We are so fortunate we have an organization, the Office of Equal Business Opportunity, that they provide assistance, and it is about called hand-holding. How do you explain? Because some of the owners of these small businesses, they don't speak English. So what? They're already here, but they get their nephew, they get their son, they get their cousin to help him move forward. And then when you tell them about, you got to have your last 3 years of taxes, they go, what? Taxes? In this country? Yes, here. You have only 2 things for certain, death and taxes. And if you dare to die before you pay your taxes, they're going to dig you out, collect, and then put you back. That's the whole idea. But again, it's how do we work together in the community? How do we make a small business get bigger? And the Equal Opportunity Office is great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you see, this is part of the
Commissioner
help that they
Baxter,
do.
you're recognized.
Mr. Vagan, thank you for taking time out of your day to come down here. It's always good to see you. I feel like I've known you quite a while now, but it feels like yesterday all at the same time. So, a simple question, this program, is it helping you? Do you participate in it?
Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know, and I'm part of the advisory board. You know, so one of the things we try to do is when a small business, whether they belong to the chamber or not, it's not about the chamber. It is about how do we help that small business move forward and make sure. That's what we coordinate with who? The school district. Why? Because those students are the future employees, the future owners, the future managers. That's what we're at Palm Beach State College. That's what we're at Kaiser University. That's what we work with FAU. You know, and again, it's about the students and the future of our community. You know,
And I think
and I want to make sure I put a set for myself. I want to live only to 104. That's it, no more.
That's it. You don't ask a lot. So real quick, everyone knows I'm a huge advocate for small business. So I am curious. So what is your business that you do that you are able to put through the county's program?
Well, the business we do is through the chamber. We have applied advertising. We have La Guia News. That was a newspaper that used to be with the Palm Beach Post many years ago, and then move forward. Now we have it within the chamber. We help move that one forward and make sure that it's in Spanish, right? Because the population here, when you look at the last census, official number, 23.9% of the residents of Palm Beach County are Hispanics.
And La Guia is a vendor? with
La
the county?
Guia, yes, is a vendor, and it's registered with the county and registered with everything else.
Thank you.
And also the same thing, I tried communication with other cities that need to register. 80% of the questions are the same. What is question number 17 in the county is question number 7 at the city, or is no question number 14 at the school district. But again, it's how to.
Well, thank you for what you do. I'm a huge fan of Sam Roman as well, so have a good one.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a beautiful day.
Sir?
I'm going to make sure I pay my taxes before they have to dig me back up again and pay them. Good morning. Bruce Lewis, proud owner of LB Limited and Associates Public Relations. Good morning, Mayor Weiss, distinguished commissioners, Administrator Baker. I'm going to take a different tact, I think, today and use myself as an example. I've been in business for 33 years. And a part of every disparity study that was ever conducted. As a consultant, I used to do, in the last disparity study, when we didn't have the system in place, I was what they called a discovery scrubber. And what we did was we literally took the master contracts and flipped through them, found the subcontractors, recorded the information so that we could acquire that data. I'm so glad that we have another system in place, so it should be very smooth now. So that's how time has passed. Get my notes here. I've been certified for 30 years. I have multiple contracts with the county over those years, currently have a few right now. I can tell you right now, during the market crash in 2008, when all the private clients that I had kind of were holding their cards, government was moving forward. I survived through that. That's a wonderful example of what government contracts can do and the value of being certified as a small business owner. I've been an advocate for 33 years. I have 47 mentees over that 30-year period of time of being in business. 41 of them are certified. I use several of them as subcontractors. So under my contracts, I subcontracted other certified businesses. So the economy of scales are there. For the business matchmaker, I've been the co-producer with the steering committee 16 of the 17 years. And the whole purpose of that event is to bring all those people together for greater government contracts. Most recently, I'm the founder of the Equity Entrepreneur Center, which is a 501c3 organization to help remove the barriers that exist for Black and minority and women-owned businesses in this county and help them get to be stand-up organizations and legitimize their business so they can move forward and grow. We've done a lot to level the playing field over the last 30 years. There's still more work to be done. And I appreciate your desire for more information to make you have a more informed decision.
Thank
but
you.
Let's move
Thank you.
forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Bob Schaefer, followed by Leontine Brown, Karen Bowman, and Keena Brown.
Good morning. My name is Bob Schaefer. I'm AGC's representative on the OEBO committee. I'm also a contractor here locally. First, to speak on the process, this program sunsets at the end of the year, and if nothing is done, it will sunset. That date has been a fixed date in time for years, and nothing has been done. The $500,000 commitment hasn't been budgeted. No one has been informed of the sunsetting. I believe in the next meeting you're also going to be told of a $100+ million shortfall of money for shovel-ready projects, and yet you're going to be asked to commit $500,000 here. As for the RFP, should have been worked on already with input from industry and others, committees. I would hope that a firm that the county had to sue would not be one of the folks considered for this process if this RFP does in fact move forward. Now, as a contractor, I just want to talk about the program itself. The availability is not willingness, and I believe Commissioner Woodward spoke to some of that or tried to speak to some of that. Availability is not willingness. For the construction side of things, the number is about 50% of folks not participating in the program for whatever reason. They could be working elsewhere. They could be working for private work. Times are good. There is a difficulty in working with the county, whether that's perceived or not, with payments and the logistics of working with the county. But as a contractor, when I go out and I know that there are seven contractors willing or have been certified, they have checked the right boxes to do the work that I need them to do, and I only get quotes from one or two, that is not a willingness to perform, and that makes it very difficult to work within the construct of this program. The way we meet these goals is purely overpay. Now, that's a decision you guys have to make. Is that the right thing with the taxpayers' dollars? I routinely overpay subcontractors to meet the goal. I cannot get a waiver because it's always at the last minute when the bids are due. The program is not set up to take care of construction bids that are the last minute, and it's not available for me to get these waivers. So I overpay. Contractors routinely do that. It's something that you guys need to look at, be aware of. There's always two sides to the story, but thank you.
Hi, my name is Leontine Brown, and I wrote down my thoughts just to be as succinct as possible. And before I begin to talk to you all about who I am, I want to clarify why I'm not here. I am not an elected official. I will never run and be in that position. I'm not a lobbyist. I am a regular person who just happens to vote. And I guess I've influenced a couple of people to vote. Some would say a couple thousand people to vote. But I'm just a regular person here. I'm not in any official capacity. Now, I have found that in government, that it is largely self-serving. Oftentimes, people will speak out on issues because it personally affects them in some way, or they vote for or against an issue because it benefits them. And while I am a small business owner, thankfully, my business operates outside of the state largely. So what you all do doesn't necessarily affect me. It doesn't necessarily affect my family or my business. So I want to be clear that I'm not speaking here today because it serves me. It's not self-serving in any way. But I'm asking you all to do something because it's the right thing to do. I am here not because it's self-serving to me, but it's because it's the right thing to support. And while this motion may not personally affect you, it might not affect your friends, your family, or even your political base. It is my hope that you all see the benefit to the people who have spoken here today, the people who may look like me, the people who, again, may not be able to vote when the time to vote comes up for you, but it's still the right thing to do. Additionally, while I don't attend a lot of the city commission meetings because, listen, it's cold in here, so yeah, y'all gotta work on that. And it's warm at my house. So I watch them largely at home. I have seen that you all vote a lot of times for things when they have not been fully realized. But you all vote for them because you all see the benefit. You all vote for them because you want to. Let's just keep it 100. You all vote for them because you want to. And so it is my hope today that though you all may not see this fully realized at this moment, that you all will give the rope and the room for it to be fully realized for no other reason other than you just want to. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
I'm Keena Brown. Was I next? Okay. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. My name's Keena Brown. Thank you, Mayor Weiss, Vice Chair, Commissioners, and Administrator Baker. My name's Keena Brown with Brown Electrical Solutions. I'm a local subcontractor in Riviera Beach. I am certified through the county. I must mention our previous speaker, representative from AGC, mentioned not being able to find people to work with. Sometimes it's stipulations such as checking the box, not meeting the criteria, the bonding, the extended request for insurance that a lot of us can't work together. The OEB has been extremely instrumental in our business growth. I challenge each one of you to be intentional in extending the program. It may have, some items may not have been pushed through the budget or mentioned. We definitely need the program in order for businesses to have an opportunity to continue to scale and grow and be prepared to do work within the county and to gain contracts. It has been a complete resource center for our business as well. All the staff members are extremely helpful. It has put us in rooms with organizations that would normally not do business with us because we don't check their boxes. So I appreciate the opportunity that they have allowed us in being intentional, and I'm asking that each one of you be intentional today to extend them with the needs and resources that they need to continue the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bernard, you're recognized.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to, Keena Brown, and I thought I saw Vincent Brown. So my lights in my house, they're the ones who did the electric at my house. So the lights are on. So great job. Good to see you, Vince.
My name is Karen Bowman. I represent Street Art Revolution. We're a public art company, and we have been certified through the Equal Business Opportunity for the last couple of years, and it has made a great difference in my business. As a result of that, I've been able to obtain contracts with the city of Riviera Beach. For example, we did the marina art, and if you go down to the Riviera Beach Marina, we are responsible for the art there, as well as getting contracts with the school district, as well as other municipalities. This opened the door for it. So this program is extremely important that you have here, because it basically sets the tone for other municipalities in the area to give minority businesses an opportunity. So please do not shortchange due to some problems due to COVID and maybe some problems with computerization and some things that got overlooked.
These people do a wonderful job. They have a small staff, but every time I have contacted them, they have been right on the money with help and support. So I would hope that you would continue this program. Do not let it sunset, because I think it would be a tragedy for the community at large, as well as maybe the destruction of minority businesses in the community that basically provide economic opportunity towards other businesses. You know, it's not just my business. I also buy paint from other businesses that are larger. Other businesses basically benefit from minority businesses. So please do not let it sunset. Give them whatever, I'm in full support of any recommendations that these people have made to you, and I hope that you would support them. And also extend the program, I think they're saying from December to December 31st of 2025 is what they're requesting. Please give them that request and the full support of this board. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Doug Lawson, followed by Joe Sanchez, Sylvia Sharps, and Dwight Stevenson.
Good afternoon, Mayor Weiss, Vice Mayor, County Administrator Virginia Baker, and all the commissioners in their respective places. To my representative, Mac Bernard, greetings to you. My name is Councilman Douglas Lawson. I'm the board chair for the city of Riviera Beach, and I'm proud to be a support of the OEBO department. The last two speakers are direct recipients of dollars that we advocate in the city of Riviera Beach for. Both Ms. and Ms. Brown, they have done work in our city. I can genuinely say that our last item that we actually did a ribbon cutting for, which I saw a lot of the commissioners attend, was our fire station. 47% of those went to recipients. 47% of the $20 million we spent on our fire station went to direct benefits of the OEBO and that department. So I just have to say thank you. We're actually improving and impacting our community and genuinely putting those dollars back into the small and minority businesses. As a councilman and a representative from my district, it's my duty to advocate for the betterment of our small businesses. I stand before you expressing an unwavering support for the OEBO. First and foremost, I can honestly say that as leaders, myself being the number one, we failed in advertising, marketing, and supporting this department. There needs more dollars put into this department. It needs more support put into this department. And there needs people to advocate for this department. Because I can honestly say I have not done a good enough job. As an elected official in Riviera Beach, I have to be intentional. Ms. Brown said we have to be intentional, and that's my role. So that's why the dollars in our community need to go to our small business, need to go to our minority business, and need to be supportive of these businesses that actually are the footstool of this community and need to be at the head of this community. Small businesses are this backbone. They provide employment opportunities, contribute to the local economy, and foster innovative ideas and growth. However, without the proper supports, guidance, these businesses will struggle. The guidance has come from these businesses. I can genuinely say, in my professional capacity as an elected official, I've seen the benefit. In my personal capacity as a business owner, I just recently got certified. And I'm proud to say that I have the opportunity now, as Ms. Woodard said, to actually bid. I haven't received any dollars from the county being certified this year, but I actually have that opportunity as a small business owner. And I've been in business for 15 years. When the market crashed back in 2008, I lost everything and I had to rebuild myself. Without opportunities of being a small business, minority business, I would not receive state and federal contracts for my businesses that I actually operate currently. I'm also proud to share that my wife is actually in the final stages of getting her certification as a woman minority business owner. So her business actually will be certified and we will both have the opportunity to bid right here in this county. In closing, I want to give an opportunity to our county commissioners to support this department, to push through with this disparity study and provide the dollars necessary. Thank you, Mayor Weiss, and thank you to the commissioners.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Mayor Weiss, distinguished county commissioners, Administrator Baker, and other members of the dais. I'm Joseph Sanchez, the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County. I want to start out by thanking our members who gave up their time this morning to be with us, to share their opinions and their thoughts as well. So the Board of Directors of the Black Chamber of Commerce of Palm Beach County, on behalf of its 225 plus members and the thousands of other minority-owned businesses in Palm Beach County, strongly encourages you to vote to extend the Small Minority Women Business Enterprise Program for the additional 2 years as recommended by the staff. The COVID-19 pandemic has been staggering on all types of businesses. However, it's been particularly hard on minority-owned businesses. One Federal Reserve Bank report indicated a 41% decrease in black-owned businesses during the pandemic, a 41% decrease in black-owned businesses. There are numerous other reasons to support extending the program for an additional 2 years, including but not limited to the fact that during the pandemic, Palm Beach County, like many other entities, issued emergency no-bid contracts with no minority business goals, resulting in reduced opportunities for minority businesses during those 2 years. During the pandemic, Palm Beach County, also like many other entities, extended existing term contracts instead of rebidding those contracts, which also eliminated opportunities for minority-owned businesses. And also during the pandemic, a number of minority-owned businesses were not able to access various loans and grant programs, some of which were issued by the county, and thank you for doing that. But they were not able to access those programs for various reasons. The reason why the Black Chamber helped formulate the Equity Entrepreneur Center that Bruce Lewis spoke about. We also support the county staff's recommendation to update the disparity study for the purpose of obtaining current information regarding disparities in contracts and payments. The market is vastly different today than it was in 2019. Since that time, a number of businesses have closed, so others have opened. So we want you to have the current information so you can make decisions going forward. Finally, we have some concerns and some reservations about changing the size standards as recommended. The fact that no black-owned firms have graduated from the program should bother you. It bothers us as well because they haven't gotten those same opportunities as other businesses have. Nonetheless, we acknowledge that we're in a different time right now, and prices have increased dramatically. Everybody has seen this. Everybody acknowledges that. And by holding the standards as they are today, we're punishing other businesses. But we do want to encourage you to implement the emerging business program as quickly as possible to give that opportunity for the smaller of the small businesses who are not able to compete with the larger big SBE firms. So I want to thank you for your time this morning or this afternoon, and I encourage you to vote in favor of extending the program as well as the other recommendations by staff. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sylvia Sharps. I live in Royal Palm Beach, Florida. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Ms. Baker. I am a woman-owned business. We have a sound business, and I was very grateful to the county for the grant that I received that allowed us to continue working. I also have a nonprofit where I relocate domestic violence victims. And as of this Friday, I am resigning from my job to work my business full-time. So I need for them to be there so I can certify my business to get more business. So if you would approve that, I'd greatly appreciate it. You know, and while it would be nice to be able to not have to have a certification to be noticed or allowed to do business with other companies, because I am qualified, it unfortunately is a requirement, because there are just some companies that won't do business with small businesses, black, white, or Spanish. And so we need that extra piece of paper in order for us to be able to compete and show that we are qualified. The diversity study definitely needs to be updated. I know that you all are very accurately aware of where we're at as a state and the hatred that has risen all over this nation. So that diversity study definitely needs to be updated. My papa used to say, when you know better, you do better. Thank you.
Sir.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and County Administrator. My name is Dwight Stevenson. I'm President of and CEO of D. Stevenson Construction, and very excited to be here this morning. I'm here to show my support for the program being extended. It's one that a little bit about myself and our company, D. Stevenson Construction, has benefited from being participating in minority programs throughout the years. Right now we employ about 45 people. We do this year about $45 million worth of business. We are teamed up with some of the other minority contractors here, and we're very excited about that and stuff. But now that D. Stevenson happened to them, but I feel as though the minority contractors are happening to us too as well and stuff. So we are benefiting from that relationship, and we want to continue it. Let me get back my But, you know, throughout the years and stuff, one of the things you do as a company, and that is building your brand, building your relationships. And one thing that being a minority contractor here, I mean, the relationships that you need, or that's trying to be created, is kind of brought to the table by the so that they trying to do business with minority contractors and stuff, instead of just saying, oh, it's none available and so forth and so on. There are guys that are available. There are guys that want to be a part of successful projects. I just wanted to be here this morning to say that and show you my support for the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We have two more cards. Frank Hayden.
Second, Commissioner Bernard.
Sorry?
Commissioner
Mr.
Bernard.
Stevenson, the Dolphins lost this past Sunday, so any help to
you know, they're way over there in Germany. As you know, we're playing a real good football team, but they'll be back here and they're going to line up this week, and hopefully we'll win this week and stuff. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Frank Hayden, followed by Richard Riles. Those are our last two cards on 5E1.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, distinguished commission, county exec, my name is Frank Hayden, and I am the counterpart to Tanya. I'm with the city of West Palm Beach. I'm the director of the Office of Small, Minority, and Women-Owned Business. As I sat here and listened to the issues that you all are dealing with, it takes me back for when we did our disparity study and the same questions that we had to answer for our commission that you're struggling with now. But I think the most important piece that I've heard that is brought up here today is the success that minority and women-owned businesses have received because of these programs. Have we touched everyone that we need to in this county or in my city? No. Is there a lot more that we need to do to help them out? The answer to that is yes. But if we drop what we've been doing today, we're going to be affecting a lot of small and minority businesses who need our help and our assistance. Is the program perfect? I don't know anything that is totally perfect. But we have to fix whatever the problems are so it can be better. Because we do this for the businesses in this county and in this city who we depend on to help us. People have made a commitment, businesses have made a commitment to be in Palm Beach County. They've made a commitment to be in the city of West Palm Beach. It's our responsibility to work with them and help them to be successful, to help our county and help our city to grow and develop. At the city of West Palm Beach, we have done a lot of things to assist these small businesses. Giving them opportunities is one thing. A lot of them need upfront financing. So we've worked with the BBIC, we've worked with banks to provide them with the funding that they need. Some of them need to understand, how do you do a proposal? We've done programs to help them be able to do that. We're working to make them successful. We take our lead from you here in the county. So I'm asking you, continue to support this program. In the end, you'll find out it has been very successful for those people who take advantage of it. Thank you all very much.
Richard Riles, Mayor, Commissioners. I am president of the Palm Beach County Black Caucus, and I can say that I've been here through all of the disparity studies, and I'd like to give you just a little history. The Florida legislature established Palm Beach County in 1909. Women didn't get the right to vote until 1920. And when the first disparity study was done in 1990, 0.008% of the business had gone to minorities. The numbers have improved, but they are still not reflective of the population of African Americans and African American business owners in this community. And I echo what Commissioner Woodward said. We do need to know why more businesses aren't participating in the program, aren't being captured by the program. Those are some very pertinent questions that need to be asked. But you don't throw away the program in order to find that answer out. What you do is you put the resources in to make it such that the answers can be obtained. And so I do support furthering the program. I, in fact, support expanding the program to find out those answers that have kept so many from wanting to do business with the county. I have my ideas. I've had my ear to the street, and I've heard why many people don't want to do business with the county. And I'm sure many of you have heard the very same things that I've heard. And so those items need to be rectified rather than throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is a small drop in the bucket to deal with a systemic issue. As a trial lawyer, I can tell you that discrimination is expensive. And so when you look at the fact that we are now 114 years post the establishment of this county and barely 80 years after the first disparity study was done, it is far time for us to continue the work that you all started in 1990. You saw a minimal amount of improvement in 2015, 2019, and we're looking at numbers today which show that there has been a minimal amount of improvement, but I think the system needs to be tweaked. I think the system needs to be monitored more closely over time, and I support furthering with the disparity study. Thank you.
Commissioner Woodward, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few quick questions. One, if we were to let this sunset, what would happen? Is there a fallback program? What did we have in the previous 5 years before this started?
We initially had an MWBE program, as Mr. Rouse stated. That program sunsetted in 2002. The board at that time then implemented a small business program. And then we went back because not everybody was captured in the small business program. And so the board then implemented the study, and I have to give Commissioner Bernard major credit because he led that fight. And then this particular program was implemented. If this program sunsets, you'd have to take another action in order to implement a small business program, which these numbers reflect. That is one of the areas that has done very well under the existing program.
So if we do not sunset it, does it have to stay the way it is, or are we allowed to make some adjustments and tweaks as have been mentioned?
I'm going to actually look at the county attorney. I believe the study that was done and that was approved supports the program we've got in place. The ordinance does allow for one of the things that Ms. Johnson brought up, that's the emerging. So the study accounted for all of that and supports it. So if that is something the board wants to do, we can do it because it was contemplated and it's in the ordinance. But anything outside of what's already there, I'm gonna take off my attorney hat that I didn't get a degree for.
You have to have the data to support any changes to the ordinance that would be race conscious or that would basically make any major changes to the program. You need to have the data, you need to have the study. And they're asking that, we're basically just asking the administration a continuation of the ordinance for 2 years in order to do the study. So the ordinance will continue as is while they're doing the study. At the time you get the study done, at that time you will be able to make changes to the program. And that will be based on the results of the study and the will of the board.
And the study was said to take 6 to 8 months, was that right?
I think staff requested 2 years.
Yeah.
But it said 6 to 9
But
months.
What was the 6 to 9 months?
The study, that it could range during that period, but we've got to go through an RFP process, putting out an RFP, having people respond, going through our process, and then bringing the contract to the board prior to the study beginning.
So when would we as a board expect to get the results of the study? Before, if we extend this for 2 years, and what you're talking about is probably at least a year or more
Right.
before, are we going to have time to address what the study reveals to us before the next ordinance expires?
Yes. We don't have a choice. We have to bring that back to you. The consultant will be,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
you will have time. The consultant will be here. And part of the last study was the consultant did speak with people in the community, the businesses, et cetera, and do the survey. I would assume they would need to do the same, except we now have data that is here, pertinent, accurate, and they can start, they've got a base. Before, as staff stated, they did not have that particular base.
Okay, so as far as making any adjustments or tweaks, we can't do any of that until we get the study anyway.
Well, let me confirm with our expert attorney here, Richard Senna, and ask him if he agrees. What kind of changes could we make right now to the ordinance, if any?
The changes that the county attorney's office has discussed and recommends are only to extend the sunset date for the purposes of soliciting, considering an updated disparity study.
Okay, so no changes.
If I may, the questions that you asked pertaining to identifying the number of businesses who are ready and willing, those are things that we can do. It's not mandated by ordinance. That's information that we can seek out now in our in our program operations. It's not necessary. Just getting additional data does not change the tenets of the ordinance. It's just internal processes that we can look at to gather additional information as requested.
Okay, well,
That's fine, yeah. If the office wants to gather data, and that does not include amending the ordinance at this point, the office can do that. It's just the actual changing of any tenants or provisions of the ordinance that should be subject to either expert review or a disparity study.
So as far as the ordinance then, it's the 10% for the fixed price under 100,000, the APIs that we put into place, that's all part of the ordinance that would remain the same.
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay, so if I could, I would like to add to start collecting the data, some of it to know how many we have that are not bidding. And, if we've had some mention that they're not getting bids, and not just who's not bidding, but I'd like to know why. And if there's reasons that we can address as a county, because it's not easy to do business. And some, maybe they just need training with your staff to get them up to speed on how to get this, how to make it as painless as possible. It's still going to be somewhat painful. It just is. But I'd like to know the information. And if it's discussions with businesses that are certified, ones that maybe have fallen off, because I know that, we have some that have graduated, but we also have some numbers that have just gone away, and I don't know if they've just decided not to recertify with us. So it's the information too, because just knowing that they exist is not enough. We need to know why they're not even bidding, or if they do get certified, why they don't try to get the work. So I guess that's not part of the ordinance, but I would like to know that information.
And for your information, we have the OEBO Advisory Committee, and they have a subcommittee that does just that. When we find that businesses don't come back and recertify, they will call those businesses to inquire of them as to their reasons for not recertifying or not responding. So we can gather some of that data from the subcommittee to be able to provide a response to that question as you posed it.
Okay, good. I'd like if we could get regular reports on that information as it comes in. And how often do they meet? Are they, I know I have the
Bi-monthly.
committee that has
The
15.
advisory committee?
The advisory committee.
Bi-monthly.
Okay, so if we could, I would appreciate reports on that as the information comes in.
All right, Commissioner Bernard, then Commissioner Marino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll make a motion, so in that way, that allows us to move forward on this.
Thank you. Yes.
This is going to be a long motion, so before I do the motion, I do want to recognize Mr. Patrick Franklin. I don't know if he's here. He couldn't. He got here late, so he does support the disparity study and wants us to extend. So my motion, one, which is to collect the data as Commissioner Woodward has requested, and for that data to be presented to us on before July 31st of 2024, and also to include the availabilities of some of these businesses, and also to take a look at the APIs and the waiver to make sure we get that data as requested by Mayor Weiss. That's the first part. The second, which is not to receive and file the multi-year SMWBE enterprise utilization report, and to have that be provided to us on or before July 31st of 2024 to give the internal auditor the opportunity to review that. Third, which is to authorize up to a 2-year extension of the SMWE program to allow time to solicit, complete, and consider this very study as part of our motion. Fourth, which is to authorize an updated disparity study. And as part of that authorization, which is for us to do a competitive RFP. However, we're not authorizing the $500,000 for the updated study and not to approve the budget transfer, since we're going to look for the RFP. Also, we're not going to increase the size standards. The next item is to require that the annual report to be done on or before July 1st of the fiscal year annually. And then also, as they're doing the disparity study, to take a look at the size standards and also the emerging businesses that Ms. Tanya Davis-Johnson mentioned.
Okay. Looking to the clerk.
That-
You guys good? Good. They're good. They're good. Thank you. All right. So we have a motion by Commissioner Bernard. Is there a second? We have a second by Commissioner Barnett. Thank you. All right. So we have a motion on the table, and we will now move to Commissioner Marino. And then followed by Commissioner Baxter.
My comment is not about this program. My comment, and I am not, this is very unusual for me. My comment is on the systemic failure of our county to give us information in a timely fashion. I find it very disappointing that a program that sunsets at the end of this year, you're bringing it to us today. I find that very disappointing. I find it disappointing that the information I got last week, which was about this many pages, turned into this many pages yesterday. It doesn't give us time to read the 280 pages that's in here. And you do that on a regular basis. On a regular basis, we get information for our agenda the day before. We get buried with information. We don't have the opportunity to even review it. That is a systemic problem that I am really, really tired of. And and I said this before, the next time that you do that to me, I'm going to pull the item. I did not do that today. We have a lot of people in the room that want this project to go forward. I personally, looking at the ordinance and the failures of what our county did in this ordinance, I would vote against it strictly for that, not for the purpose of what the project is, but for the fact of the failures that are in this ordinance. The fact that we should have had a report once a year for the last 5 years. I've been here 3 years. This is the first report. That's a failure. So how do we want people, how can people do business with the county if we can't even do business with ourselves? There are so many items in this ordinance that have not been done. So what is our responsibility as a board if we continue this ordinance without doing what is in the ordinance? And I am looking to our attorney to answer that question.
The board's responsibility is to direct the administrator to follow our ordinances and to implement them. And if the board feels that's not being done, then the board needs to take corrective action and give specific instructions on what needs to be done.
This is not going to happen again in the future. I will say that right here and right now. We don't have people that want to work with the county for a lot of reasons, because we can't even work with ourselves. We can't even do the jobs, the tasks that are at hand. Like I said, I've been here 3 years. This is my first report on this. That is a failure. And it's not, for you all in the audience, it is not a failure of the program. It is a failure within our county to get the information that we were requested of getting. I'm just talking. I am not happy. Mac, I appreciate your motion. I do not agree. I mean, I agree with the not putting aside the $500,000. If this is something we knew that was going to be sunsetting and we were going to have to do this, this should have been a budget item. And it wasn't. And I don't want to hear. I'm so tired of excuses. And on that note, I'm going to stop because I don't want to lose my temper. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, Commissioner Baxter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the same concerns, very similar concerns as Commissioner Marino. I was very upset that we just received this information days ago, packets of information on this report. I was concerned that our administrator had visited the chambers and let them know this was going to come before us, before we knew as a commission. There was an article in the Post stating as such. I find that terrible that we are the last to know. How did we not know this program was sunsetting? And literally find out now in the middle when people are out of town, it's holiday season. And you know, one thing I do agree to disagree with is that the program has a less than 3% graduation rate, and in any universe, that's a failure of a program. And if we knew this program needed work, which I have heard multiple times over and over and over again, why wasn't this brought to us 6 months ago so that a better program could be, hey, let's work towards this. These are things that we would like to see improved. This is what's coming up. We have done our residents a disservice. This program hasn't proven to actually, by the data, be effective for the women or minority-owned businesses. It's been very stagnant, and if not a failure at minimum. And it has made me question why. Why would we even consider something when it's been a failure? I would also like to know if the 2023 data isn't here, why don't we at least have it with the caveat that there might be some anomalies?
The 2023 data, we wanted to wait until the closeout of all payments because we report to you on payments. We wanted to make sure that the clerk's office had completed its closeout of the data. And so we would present that at another time. But let me say this, Madam Commissioner. You speak about the low rates of utilization but for minorities and women. That is a fact. Our businesses are challenged to do business with these prime contractors who have made millions of dollars. It has been a situation where they have selected the businesses that they choose to do business with, and it may not be inclusive of those WBEs and those MWBEs. That's the challenge that this office and this county has faced for a number of years. I understand, and I take responsibility.
Excuse me, but I'm going to reclaim my
Okay, reclaim your time.
I would like to ask you, what were your qualifications prior to holding your position?
What was my qualifications?
Yeah, because, the reason I ask, to be very clear, is because you seem to put out a lot of information, so I am curious. We have a lot of new members on this board, and I have no idea what your background is. I have absolutely none.
Sure, I'm happy to share that. So I began my employment in 1985 in the Palm Beach County Office of Equal Opportunity. I started out as a secretary. I worked in the Office of Equal Opportunity for almost 10 years. I was promoted to administration, where I worked with Mr. William Wilkins, who was an assistant county administrator at the time. I subsequently was promoted, or when Mrs. Baker became the assistant county administrator, Mr. Wilkins became the city manager of the city of Riviera Beach. I became an administrative assistant to Assistant County Administrator Baker. When she was promoted to deputy, I continued on with her. In the interim, Madam Commissioner, I went to college as an adult. I obtained my bachelor's degree. My bachelor's degree is in organizational management. I have a concentration in entrepreneurship. I subsequently, working as an adult with children, obtained my master's degree. From there,
Yes. No, thank
From
you.
there, I went on and I became a small business development specialist in the Office of Equal Business Opportunity. But my specialty was outreach and certification. I served in that capacity from 2007 to 2012. And I was then promoted to the department director after the death of the director, Ms. Hazel L.K. Oxendine. So I have gained the education necessary to do the work, but I have grown in this county, working in administration, learning the Board of County Commissions work, understanding how the Board of County Commissions operated, and I was also both an appointed and an elected official in the city of Riviera Beach. So that's my resume, and I continue on a daily basis to grow and to strive to serve this county.
I know where you think I thought I was going that, but I think you seem very qualified for the job, which is why I question when we had conversations regarding a woman-owned business getting certified, that you basically told me it was a very subjective process. I actually gave direction at this board to bring it back to us. We've heard about how the certification process is so easy. And this is one instance where I was told they didn't have the certification. The certification wasn't a necessity for it. I was told she didn't know how to field work. I just found out she actually previously did the field work, and the only reason she is currently doing the clerical work is because she just had a baby. But I was told during her interview process that she didn't meet the criteria of becoming a certified business. And I ask you, from such a highly qualified professional, how it could be, in your opinion, that she is not certified to be a woman-owned business when clearly the data shows there are 2%, or excuse me, 2. There's strictly a high need for it. So again, this program is failing. It isn't meeting the needs, and we should not be subjectively declaring if somebody can be certified or not certified. How do we get behind a program that is not doing what it should do for our residents? We have failed them and can do a much, much better job than what is currently in place to help businesses and to go back to the drawing board and come up with a system That is completely better. I think it is terrible at the graduation rate. I think it is terrible we don't know the amount of waivers that have been able to be used. I can't even imagine. I mean, why we didn't start analyzing this sooner. It is just completely beyond me why this is so last minute and so right before the end of this year. This is absolutely atrocious. I just can't. So there's so many problems with this program. To say, all right, well, let's work on it while a study is going on. It's clearly already failed. I think we need to start over and come up with a better program with better results, with better transparency and accountability for our residents. I think all these business owners deserve better. And why do we have so many not participating or not actively using? Do you know the numbers of how many certified businesses haven't received $1 from the county? How many of them that are actually certified receive no money?
As we reported in 2022, 307. But that does not mean that they did not bid or respond to solicitations. They may not have been successful in the award. And I don't think that we can hang our hat on the number of businesses that have not received an award, because you have, conversely, prime contractors that may not have necessarily sought to do business with Palm Beach County, and we really need to balance that out. Although a small business may not have received $1, it does not mean that they are not actively participating in the process.
And one more thing, it just goes back to, again, this program is not working. The way it is currently written, the way it is currently laid out, it's not working. And I think we can do better for our residents. I think we can put something together that makes more sense and have that data lined up. We are now getting data through the clerk's office, I believe it was stated earlier. We are getting more information. But why continue, even for 2 years, a program that isn't currently working that we know is a failure? I don't understand why we would do that. I make a motion to deny this continuation of this. I mean, we should not be doing this the way it is. I think we should start over, come back with a better program, have the staff come back with a better program that works better and hasn't failed our residents.
So, okay, just to clarify, you're making a substitute motion to deny.
Correct.
Is there a second? Is there a second? There's no second, so your substitute motion dies for lack of a second. All right, Administrator Baker would like to comment, and then Commissioner Bernard. I also want to remind the board we have a 1:15 hard stop because of our executive meeting. Ms. Baker, you're recognized.
Every program can do better, and we are striving to do so. This was a new program implemented in January of 2019. We started to recognize some of the businesses, certify more, put dollars on the street. And I know we don't want to hear COVID, because I get tired of hearing excuses on COVID, but it's a reality. And COVID did occur. We pretty much continued with things we had to continue with, but for the most part, it was emphasizing and putting programs out on the street that actually helped our situation with COVID. That was 20. 21, we were following up. We got an influx of CARES dollars from the federal government. We got an influx of ARPA dollars. And a lot of those was to keep our businesses up and operating. We created programs. We created portals so that we could protect federal dollars coming into our county and push them out on an immediate basis when it came to our businesses, especially our small businesses. We worked very diligently with our industries here in Palm Beach County. We kept our businesses, construction, et cetera, all of those businesses going forward because they are critical businesses to our county. We cannot force primes to do business with certain small businesses. We put it in our system. We've got our API when they can show that they're not there, then again, we waive it. So I do believe this program, it is not a failure. I believe this program starts to meet the needs that we need to meet. There are things that we need to work diligently on to improve. We will do that. The study will also reflect those particular things that we need to do. When it comes to race-conscious issues, especially with APIs, we've got to follow a very narrow set of rules. We can't do what we want or we're going to negate our program. So I think when we start with this updating, that is going to give us a little more information looking at the data that we have collected. We have issued dollars out to women and minority business as well as our small businesses. Our small businesses are thriving. The numbers reflect that. Our minority and women-owned business are not. Have they made strides? Yes, they have. Do they need to make better strides? Absolutely. I'm not going to give you an excuse for not bringing this to you sooner. We should have. We should have. And I've stated that I'm going to have to take full responsibility for that. That will not occur again, and I've got measures in place to ensure it. There are times when things go longer than they should. This was one of them. That will not happen again. And again, I apologize for that. We've got a lot of things going on. We're trying to catch up with a lot of things, but that is no excuse. And so I'm not giving you one. I'm simply telling you that I've checked and we've got benchmarks in place that this should not occur again.
All right, it's Commissioner Bernard, Commissioner Woodward, and then Commissioner Baxter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, Attorney Rouse said that, we do not want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And Leah Gaines stated that we need to maintain the fidelity with the implementation of this program. You know, I made this motion because I'm struggling with this because, we need to continue to help our small minority women-owned businesses in the county. But the structure, that we need to fix the structure. The Office of Equal Business Opportunity, Ms. Baker, you've got to really work on this structure to make sure that it is meeting the needs of the small businesses, small, big, in this county. We sit as a board of the Solid Waste Authority, and the Solid Waste Authority adopted an OEBO program similar to this. And we've received on an annual basis a report of the current OEBO program from the Solid Waste Authority annually.
We get a quarterly update.
So, she makes a presentation to us annually in front of us, and so that way we get to know exactly what's going on. So what I'm asking you is that, you need to take a look at the structure to fix this problem, because we've got to make sure that we're helping the small business survive. And, I made this motion. This is one of those hard issues that I've been through, and it's difficult, but that's what this job is about. It's very hard. I know some of us, we're struggling, but I just think that we can fix this, and we demand it from Ms. Baker to make sure that this office works for these businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, Commissioner Woodward, then Baxter, then Marino.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to echo some of what's been said. And honestly, I struggled with whether or not to second that motion, but because we are 6 weeks really away from the sunsetting, I would like to think that we have 2 years to get it right, and to whatever comes after this, it gives us time to do what we need to do with this. And that's going to require a lot of information. I know this board can take it, but we do need some time to process it. And we want information. I want as much as you can give me, spreadsheets, all of it. And I think that most of us feel that way. And we need to know the data, and we also need to get the feedback that's coming from exit interviews or whatever's happening when you do. I'd like to even know the postmortems or whatever you called them after someone does bid and doesn't win. You do a meeting with them to help them go over their bid process. I mean, this is the type of information I think we all should have. We could get recaps of it, because if what we're looking at is forming a new ordinance in 2 years, and we need as much information as we can get throughout this entire time, as often as you can get it to us, to give us time to get ready, so that when we're ready to do this next ordinance, we're not up against the wall and we have to make a decision, do or die at this moment, which is what it does feel like right now. And I think most of us, we don't want to just let this expire and then not have a program at all, but really give us the 2 years that you're asking for. Give us all the information you can, so that when it comes time for us to do the next ordinance, we can make the tweaks that have been discussed and have all the information in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter, then Commissioner Marino.
If we proceed with this, and I like most of what Commissioner Bernard said, so I don't know if it's better to just say a substitute with all the things he said, vote 2 differences, or ask you to amend. But I will see if you're agreeable first. Right. So I would like a stricter timeline than 2 years, if possible. That is the first thing. I would like to see this 1 year max. And then the second thing I would say, I would like to disqualify any previous vendors that have had to be sued by the county. And those are the only 2 things that I would really add to that motion.
Right. Hang on. So we've got an amendment to. Hang on. I'm going to repeat it. I got it, I think. And I need to ask the motion maker and then the seconder if they'll accept it. So the amendment is to limit the provision from sunsetting from 2 years to 1 year, and to now you're going to have to help me, because now I forgot.
So it is my understanding we've had to sue before over information. I don't want to use a company we've had to sue previously.
And not allowing companies we have sued.
So, like, Commissioner Baxter, you're asking for 2 things. I know for me, in regards to number 2, in regards to, you're probably asking, since Mason Tillman did this study, to not have them as the.
Right.
I don't know if we can do that. If legally, if it's an RFP.
If it's an RFP, then you can't exclude them.
But the board can make a decision, but we would make that decision at that time, so.
Correct. Correct.
There would be an RFP, and if the board will make that decision.
The board can make the
And so
final
if the board
selection.
decides to not accept them, then that's something
That's
that
correct.
we could do. And so,
We've
but-
done that before.
In regards to the stricter timeline, I think that since we are asking for a lot of things to be done, I think I would prefer that we stick to the 2-year timeline.
Split the difference?
I think it's very hard for us to, this is a very complicated study, because you've got to get the reporting and you've got to get the reviews. I think if we can, let's just stick to the timeline. But what I would prefer is for the Office of Equal Business Opportunity to be able to provide us updates if we want to. Every 6 months, I'm asking for it to be July 31st. Let's say July 1st, every 6 months to provide us an update, so in that way we know exactly what's going on with the OBO. So no stricter timeline, but the OEBO office to provide us 6 months updates.
We could always extend from a year, but it's your.
It just would be very hard. I think if we can stick to the 2 years, it allows us to be able to do everything.
My only concern is this is the accountability part. Like after a year, if they haven't brought us the data in a timely fashion, this gives us a timeline.
They're providing us the data within 6 months because we're asking for it, because we have to receive and file a report from 19 through 2022. So we will get the chance by next year.
What do we do if they don't?
I think that if they don't, then we're going to fire the people in those departments.
Okay,
Right.
I agree
Mayor,
then.
Mayor, if I may.
So I know it's not our, we're not supposed to be
That's
able
not
to do
us,
that.
but
That's
we'd
not
have
our.
to, you'd have to.
I know, that's not our job, so that's, but if they don't, then we've already spelled it out very clearly to this office that if they don't do what they need to do, then the director needs to go and, we're done. It's just that simple.
All right, Assistant County Administrator, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify, the report is a written report or coming before the board?
Both a written report and coming in front of board, because we're going to take a look at that report, and it needs to be provided to us with enough time, as the commissioners have been frustrated with getting these information late. So please provide it to us on time and brief us regarding that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, now we move, are we good? Okay, all right, we're now to Commissioner Marino and then Vice Mayor Sachs.
I'm with Commissioner Baxter on this one. And I know we've heard that a year is not enough. Can it be a year with an option for another year? And that would be dependent on the report that comes back in July. Because I am not comfortable with the 2 years at all, given that the reporting is not all that fabulous. And, we've had 172 events, but in 3 years, we only added 2 WBEs and 5 MBEs. So I don't even see, it almost feels like this program needs to be rewritten and with things that are achievable. I do agree with Commissioner Baxter that this is nothing against the small businesses, the minority businesses, the women-owned businesses. This is not against that at all. This is against a program that is not getting those businesses here for whatever reason, whether it's they don't want to work with the county, there's some subjectivity in how somebody gets qualified. There should be no subjectivity in how someone gets qualified. And I don't know if a year is a time frame that is doable. I would like to see a year, and if it is successful after a year, then we put it one more year. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but I'm not comfortable at all with this.
I don't want to speak for the attorney, but from what they said earlier, the only way for us to continue the program and extend it is that we also have to do the study. So we have to move forward with that. If we're going to do any extension, we have to move forward with the study. I don't think it's reasonable to think that you're going to put out an RFP, you're going to get it responded to, and you'll get the study completed.
In 2 years? That's ridiculous.
No, in 1 year. And I don't, that's just.
1 year is doable then. Why does it have to be 2?
So that's what it would take, I think. I think hopefully it can be done less, but I think that's based on how things move, I think that's but you're going to make your own decision.
So I think, Ms. Baker, you're hearing from this board that, that we're reluctant to give you this 2-year period, which means that, if this vote passes for us to do the 2 years, this RFP needs to be on the streets pretty much right away, and for everything to be moving. And so you've got to hear this board. I'm trying to give this 2 years so in that way, because I know how complicated this is, but time is not on your side.
Right. Vice Mayor, you're recognized.
Thank you. I really commend my colleagues. We've had a lot of passion here on making sure that this good program gets better. This is an excellent program, and as some of the folks stood up here from the community and said, this is vital to the growth of our county. If we don't have small businesses is the basis of our United States economy. It's a huge business. These are small businesses. These are Palm Beach County small businesses. So you all have our marching orders. And I love the way everybody just never feared the debate. That's what we're here to do. Not to rubber stamp everything, but to make you better. I think we can do it like the Solid Waste Authority does. Give us reports all the time. We don't need to have a consultant in 6 months tell us whether or not our small businesses are doing well. If our small businesses are having issues getting finances from our banks in order to get the insurance necessary to be certified, we'll go out to those banks. I know a number of banks, I won't mention their name right now, but I know a number of those banks that will work with the county to make sure small businesses are able to get the financing necessary to get the insurance and go through those hoops. It's not easy. I was a WBE years ago in Broward County, and it is not easy. So we need to help everybody come up, but especially our small businesses. And I know that our large companies are interested in making sure that business is healthy in this county. So, staff, wow, you got your marching orders, because we're not going to put up with anything less than excellence for this particular issue. If you need anything, let us know. Ms. Baker will get in our office and give us hell. We'll make sure that we, the staff in this county, have the necessary resources, because we will not accept anything except excellence. And I don't see why we can't get almost quarterly reports on the businesses that, they're not that many. I might just have the least amount. I can tell you, I'll give it to you myself. So let's make sure that we stay transparent, responsive to us, and let's get this show on the road where it should be, doing business the best way for Palm Beach County. All right.
Thank you. All right. County Attorney, you're recognized.
I just wanted to make sure that the board doesn't forget that you have one more item and that item will have to have an amendment. And as far as the way it was drafted, included the changes to the size of the small business.
They can bring that back after our recess.
That's perfect, thank you.
Okay. So I don't see any other lights lit. I just want to thank, I want to thank this board for really vetting this. And you can hear as has been said. So I'll leave it at that. With that, we have a motion on the table by Commissioner Bernard, who I can't even remember who seconded it. Oh, Commissioner Barnett. Thank you, Commissioner Barnett. We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Bernard. I'm not going to repeat it. All in favor? I can't.
That was smart.
I can't. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carries 7-0. All right, here's where we're at. We have a recess we will take. When we come back, we will pick up item 5E2. It's got to be redrafted. I need to make this announcement. The BCC will be in a closed collective bargaining strategy session with Palm Trans negotiation team before the BCC reconvenes for matters by the public at 2 p.m. We will see you at 2 p.m. Thank you. Thank you, Seth.